Hello. Hi, everybody. We are starting live. Drop in the chat. What do you want to do if you had part-time hours? What would you want to do with it? What would be different about your life if you just looked at your schedule and all of a sudden you were at part-time hours? Part-time schedule. We are doing that today. What would you love to have? By the way, I noticed the chat. The chat is default setting to me. So I love that. I'm going to see everything. But someone wrote, said, I didn't see anyone in the chat. There was like 50 messages in the chat yesterday. So if you want everyone to see what you're having to say, which you don't have to, if you push the setting to everyone, everyone will see what you're saying, which can be a lot of fun. And of course, if you just want me to see it, that's fine too. All right, let's see. Yeah, what would you love to do with part-time hours? How would life be different? Because the moment you start seeing it's real is the moment it starts becoming true. And then I'm going to give you the strategy today, the exact way I got to part-time hour. Would have used to work 70-hour weeks all the time. How I got to part-time hours, full-time job at three different jobs. One was more academic, one was more private practice, and it worked beautifully at both. And I've helped 1,000 women physicians do the same. But it always starts with, what would it look like? What would be different about your day? All right, let's show some slides. I'll read your responses as well. And I want you just to consider it's really not that hard to get to part-time hours. You just need to know a process you've never heard before. And today you're going to hear it. Does that sound good? All right, let's see what's in the chat box. Let's see what's in the chat box. Hey, Instagram, you're live with us. And if you want to see Hey Zinzi, go to Glick in bio. You can join us if you want to see the slides. If not, hang out. Okay, and we're talking about what would life be different if I could be a part-time mouse. Nicole said I would knit more. Yes. I mean, really, our brain wants us to think that those are small things, but having hobbies, being able to not constantly think about work every day, that is so important. Like we have a finite number of days on the planet. We don't want to spend all of them with work. So knit away, Nicole. Knit away. Kathleen, oh, you don't think you can change? Kathleen says she doesn't see an option to change to everyone. Everyone says host and panels. Okay, Kathleen, I don't know how that happened, but I will read your response. Hey, Instagram, join us. Join us in Leak and Buy if you want to join us. Mary Beth, I have a part-time schedule and do advocacy and creative pursuits in other time, right? Mary Beth, for advocacy work, you want that extra time. Whatever you, and this is, I love Mary Beth that you said this because a lot of people join us, they're already at part-time hours. And my philosophy is we can help you do part-time hours even better. To what I'm going to teach you today, Mary Beth, always do better. The idea being every year of our life, we should be working fewer hours and making a bigger impact. So you have time for your advocacy. Nicole, it is not you. I guess it's disabled. I don't know where that function is. Tolu, I'd spend more time with my kids, right? Yeah. Yeah. So that's what we're going to be talking about, how to spend more time with your kids. Let's get started. Instagram, if you want to say something, put it in the comments and I'll include you. So today is the part-time hour schedule. We're going to start with the one mistake that's having you at 1.5 FT. And seriously, this costing you up to $35 million. I'll break it down for you. And then you're going to get three strategies. It's the first three things I did to go from 70 plus hour weeks, always thinking about work, to be able to cut back to part-time hours and keep your full-time salary. You don't have to talk to your boss. It's not going to involve a pay cut, no negotiations. So much better than that. Doors to Next Level Freedom opened yesterday. Our special 72-hour bonus ends tomorrow. So if you're thinking of coming in, you want to join now, but I'll talk about that at the very end. Who this is for? Do you relate to this? Or if you don't relate to it, let me know in the chat and we'll make sure this is tailored for you. You would love to be a part-time. Part-time schedule would solve actually most of your problems. But in your mind, cutting back to part-time means you have to cut your schedule, your salary. And that math doesn't math. You absolutely cannot afford to cut your salary. Or you already cut back. Many women come to me, they cut back to 0.8, 0.6, 0.5, and they volunteer to take a pay cut. So their salary went down by 50% overnight. And now you're finding yourself relying on credit cards to make ends meet. Or you cut back, and this happens almost always. If you don't know how to coach your boss, what will happen is there's what I call work creep. work starts creeping up, especially if you're in a center, you're the only part-time person. People forget you're part-time, and all of a sudden you find yourself back up at 1.0 FTE, but your salary isn't. Anyone relate to that? And you might find yourself thinking, I'm making good doctor money, so why does it feel like I'm living paycheck to paycheck? You may find yourself funding urgent care shifts, moonlighting, extra work, med mal cases, real estate, trying to just fund the splurges, vacations, and bills. Making ends meet, if you kind of boil it down to make ends meet, fund this lifestyle, you're finding yourself really, if you put all of it together, working way more than 1.0 FTE, and cutting back your hours just seems totally impossible. Some of you may have asked your boss, can I cut back? I want a more sustainable schedule. And your boss was like, absolutely not, unless you take a pay cut. You've taken all the efficiency classes and you're still hauling work home after bedtime, after your kid's bedtime. You want to be contributing to college and retirement funds, but instead you're just hoping nothing expensive happens, right? So what do you want? Safety, all of us. This whole 3 days is about how to keep your job, raise bonus safe, never at risk, to be paid fairly for the good work you do, be supported and recognized, a schedule that allows you to be there for your family, to see your kids more, Tolu, to be at the soccer games, the dentist appointments, and a buffer that you can fund taking weeks, months, years off medicine, and nothing about your day-to-day life has to change. So the answer is simple. It's part-time hours, full doctor pay, no pay cut. And today we're talking about the part-time hours piece. Having to cut back to part-time hours really something you want to be doing as early as possible. If you're here on this call, for sure, it's something you want to do now. What it sounds like usually beforehand is I will be able to cut back once I'm promoted, once I'm partner, once we're fully staffed after 5 or 10 years. And we just know none of that ever really works. Because what happens is your boss comes to expect, your colleagues, your admins come to expect you to come early, stay late, be on Outlook on vacation. The expectation doesn't disappear once we're promoted, once we're fully staffed, or in 5 years. It's just the expectation keeps growing. So it starts feeling like every year of your life is busier. The longer you're at over 1.5 FTE, it starts to become your baseline, and then more is added on top of that. So we definitely want to be cutting back sooner before we're just saying, this is how it is. There's no precedent for anything else. I'll just push harder for one more year. We can do hard things. And our kids are growing up in the meantime. There's a million reasons why you want to be cutting back to part-time hours and keeping your full pay because we can't get this time back. But most physician women will say yes. They will agree with me on part-time hours. What's super interesting is that all of them will disagree with me that they can't stay full-time. So what it sounds is like, I would love to have part-time hours, but I can't afford a pay cut. And what that shows me is they think cutting back to part-time hours requires a pay cut. Not how we teach it. Keep your full-time salary. You absolutely must. And here's what this means to keep your full-time salary. This is what you need to. This is from published data is that the average white male doctor in the United States makes $430,000. His counterpart, the only thing that's different is that she's white, a white woman. She's going to make $330,000 a year. That goes down. Black women, 275,000, Latinas, 240,000 for the same work and same experience. Huge difference in salaries that can cost of every year. This is just looking at 1 year up to almost $200,000. If the average doctor works 30 years, at the end of 30 years, that's a loss of $5.7 million. Not from investing or interest, it's just straight up money that never sees our bank account because of this wage gap in the United States. And if you were to invest that money, that wage gap would grow to $21.5 million loss just for being a woman physician in America. The wage gap is enormous. And if you were to say, okay, well, let's drop my salary by 0.5, all these numbers balloon up to a loss of up to $35 million over our career if we volunteered to cut our salary. So this is why our philosophy is never, ever, ever cut your salary to go part-time. Go part-time hours, keep your full-time salary because there's just too much money on the line and it adds up cumulatively. All of this compounds. Do not drop your salary to go part-time hours. Don't leave $35 million on the table. And these numbers, by the way, are conservative because they're assuming that that average white male doctor never has a raise again, never gets a bonus. And we all know that's not true. He's going to make more money and that wage gap is going to get bigger unless we learn this process of cutting back to part-time hours, keeping our full pay. It's more than a $35 million wage gap. It's an inheritance. It's the difference between sending your kids to the okay daycare and the really good daycare with specialists and outings and field trips, difference between a smaller house that we can make do and a house where everyone has space to have their own room and office spaces. It's the difference between funding college or having our kids take on massive debt or maybe not going to the college that they really wanted to. It's a huge difference. It's the difference between having a small retirement fund or having to work 15 years extra. But the truth is, you'll never, ever, and this is a good thing, but we'll never make up for this $35 million wage gap with urgent care shifts. Like that math does not work. We will never catch up with hours. And that's a good thing because I don't want you working all of your life. We have to think smarter. And that's what the part-time hours, your full-time doctor's salary will recover. $35 million is financial security. It's opportunities for your kids, our kids, not having to work until the day we die, have a financial buffer. So if we need to take weeks, months, years off, we can. If we want to cut back our hours, we can, and our lifestyle doesn't have to change. Can we count on medicine fixing? I'm going to go with the $21 million number. It's a more conservative number. Can we count on medicine fixing this wage gap? $21 million per woman physician per year? Absolutely not, right? Not happening, but we can solve it for you starting today. So all of these numbers, if you look at just the $21.5 million loss, there's only really two things that matter: the salary and the years we're in medicine, the years we have to earn money. The only multipliers are money and time. So as long as you're starting this process today, you're able to recoup millions of dollars. Money times years equals $21 million. So how we do this, how we recoup this $21 million wage gap is one, cut back your hours. We want to increase the dollars per hours you're making. Two is then drive up your salary. And that's exactly what this whole 3 days is about. Yesterday, you learned how never to get fired because once you're unfireable, now you can start making the moves of part-time schedule and then your 100K raise. It's all a layered process. The problem you have is you think part-time hours requires your boss's approval and a 50% pay cut. The solution is you need to cut back to part-time hours, keep your full pay, and your boss has nothing to do with it. Okay? Your boss has nothing to do with it. It's so good. Okay, so about me, I started in medicine in 2000. It's about 26 years. I've cut back to part-time hours at full-time pay at all the jobs I've had. I've coached 1,000 women physicians towards the same. The skill is through knowing how to coach your boss. It's a skill no one's ever taught you, so stay tuned. It's not a fantasy, it's a framework, y'all, and you're going to get it today. It's just something you've never been taught. And it's definitely possible for you too. We've helped people in all settings. So let's see. Let me check in with the chat. Yes, Nicole, you can knit and spend time with the kid and the husband. You don't have to choose. Right. Um, mhm. Yes, Mary, it's not you, it's the settings. I apologize. I wish I could change that. I tried to, but it did not work. What if you are a part? So I'll read out, Nicole. What if you are a partner? So you don't have to worry about getting fired, but everyone's working crazy hours. You carry your share of the work and it's your company on the line. I think it's most important for you. It's so interesting how we use that against ourselves. It's all on the line. So I have to work more hours in order to make this up. But because it's all on the line, you cutting back is most important. And I'm going to go into the detail, the reasons why, but it's not going to be about cutting the essential elements of your job. I'm sorry, my dog is just trying to get in here. She's a senior and she needs to coach. She likes to learn. She's my biggest fan. So yeah, so Nicole, what I want you to think about as a partner, what if this is the most important lesson for you. So I want you to consider I want you to consider, and I see this for everyone, whether they're a partner or at another level, is thinking that there's no way to cut back. I promise you, every person I've worked with, including you, there's so many ways to cut back. We're just not seeing it. And I think part of the problem is revealed in what you just said. Everything's on the line for me. When you're thinking everything's on the line, which is kind of like yesterday, I'm about to be fired, it drives in all this overworking, all this, let me say yes to everything. It drives in, it fuels the problem. Instead, we want to take a more CEO approach to this. This company will not exist without me. I have to be here. I have to be healthy for this company to work. Where can I start slashing time? I think it's really hard for ourselves to see this. I think this is where having a coach, someone else who can audit and say, could we consider removing this piece? What of all of this is, and something I like to do with my clients with an audit is, what of all of this are the money driving activities? Let's protect those. But not, and Nicole, not everything you're doing is a money driving activity. I promise there's a lot of crud that's been either like inherited work or things that can be delegated. So that's what I do is you're looking through your schedule. Where can I prioritize? What are the essential elements and where can I cut back? And we're going to look at that today. I promise we're going to get you started today. A Tolu, I dropped down to point 0.8, but still feel like I'm working even more, though I'm seeing less patients. Yes. Yes. So Tolu, these three steps are for you. You can start them today and start seeing it. And this is what I'm referring to as the work creep. That we can cut back our hours, but the work will always be creeping up. So our job is creating boundaries for that, or negotiating for more pay as that work comes up, or eliminate the creep. There's three options, and we'll look at all those today. Laura, I live the full-time work, part-time salary, full-time work. So I just went full-time. That's it. Yeah. Yeah. That's a piece of this too, Laura, right? So we have the amazing, it's kind of the options that we have is either you have to be very vigilant on cutting back, which is not a problem. That can be part of like just having conversations and boundaries. Or we can say, Tolu, for example, oh, there's this project you want me to do, or you want me to see more patients. I'm happy to do that. But since I'm part-time, let's consider a discussion about the salary increase to accommodate them. The other thing that comes to me for Tolu is if you're seeing in the event you or anyone else is seeing the same number of patients, but it's taking more time, I think that's a really interesting area to play with. Like, what is taking them more time and where could we be solving for that? Yes, Nicole, we will coach you more on that. Bring that in and we can look at your schedule and see. But it's enough to just say, what if it is possible? There's a lot here to cut. I just need to find it. And sometimes another brain is easiest to find it. What do you think? Okay, so you're hearing this and you're thinking it's unethical to cut back without my boss's approval. Here's what I want to say to you if that's you. It's unethical to leave $21 million on the table. Like that's super unethical, right? When you think about it from this graph I just showed you. I want you to think just also, I don't want to pit your boss as the enemy. Your boss wants good work done and to retain you. You actually both want the same thing. Can you ask your boss to say yes to part-time hours, full-time pay? Absolutely not. That is not the process you teach. Your boss actually can't say yes because your boss doesn't know this process. I promise you, she doesn't know it. And she can't say yes to everyone. So if she says yes to you, she has to say yes to everyone. She's not going to be able to say yes. So a philosophy we have around here, you'll hear this more tomorrow as we talk about six-figure raises. Don't waste your time asking people who can't say yes. It's a way to guarantee you'll get a no. Instead, what I want you to kind of, keep in mind, your boss also can't correct a $20 million wage gap. Like as much as she'd love to, she can't. And if you need to be out for 2 years because your husband gets an unexpected diagnosis, she won't be able to fund that either. And your boss is not your enemy. She needs you. The average woman physician creates $100 million for our hospitals over our careers. Your boss wants you there. She wants you to do good work. She's depending on you and your skills, but she doesn't have time to get in the weeds on your schedule. She doesn't want to, and you don't want her there either. You have so much influence over your time. And that's what we're going to be focusing on today is where can we take 3 steps towards part-time hours and keeping our full pay? If you're worried you think colleagues are going to think you're lazy for leaving early, remember that we were going to get better work done faster. It's not about abandoning work or having the charts accumulate. It's about doing better work faster so that you're more pleasant to be around. The work culture is better. You're getting better patient sat scores. You're more liked and respected. And some of you are thinking, no way can I get this work done if I cut back. And here's this phenomenon that's so interesting. And I think there's published papers about this, is work will expand into whatever time you give it. And Tolu, this is what you're talking about. Is you're kind of saying, I cut back, but I'm still like the work is growing. Work will expand into whatever time you give it. So if you give yourself lots of time, you'll find yourself working back at 1.0 FTE, even though you cut back. What we really want to do is be cutting back our available time. As we give ourselves less time to do the work gets done faster. Well, what if someone dies? Someone gets sued. You're actually most at risk of getting sued or having a bad outcome now. When you're overworking, when you're really exhausted, that's when we make mistakes. So cutting back will protect you. It'll protect your patients in your hospital. It can eliminate mistakes. When I think about the mistakes that I made in medicine, because we all do, I mean, they were always like I could pinpoint. I was exhausted. I didn't sleep. I was pushing myself. I was saying one more thing. Let's just get a little further ahead. It always happened in those moments. I'm suggesting that if you're more rested, that you're going to be able to eliminate your mistakes. So that's the argument. Cutting back to part-time hours makes you a better doctor, a better employee, stabilizes your job. When you have that 21 million extra dollars, you're not looking to leave it. Stabilizes your family, $21 million for your kids. It's huge. It can correct the $21 million wage gap in your lifetime. It can retire your kids. So start one. Let's do strategy one is decide at the start of the day when you'll end. No physicians are doing this. They're saying, I have no idea when I'll be home. Or I'm going to go home when the work is done. Don't ask. I'll tell you when I'm coming home. Anybody relate to that? Don't leave important decisions to the end of your day. Tired brains, ironically, never want to stop working. And what that sounds like is just 5 more minutes, just one more thing. This won't take long. I have to do this right now, or tomorrow's going to be a total disaster. If I don't do it right now, it's just never going to get done. That's what it sounds like. But the truth is, it will never be 5 minutes. A tired brain works slow. And if the tired brain makes mistakes and it takes you weeks, months, a lawsuit to unwind, it really didn't make today better. Staying later tonight makes today worse, and then you're more tired, and then tomorrow's worse. So what really will make your day better is leave just a little bit early today. Just start there. Let your rested brain make all the important decisions. Do your hard work at the beginning. Decide at the beginning of the day when you go home. You could do that right now. What time are you going home? Put it in the chat. Go ahead. Decide. Decide right now. It's so easy to do. I'm going to know you may not be rested, especially if you're on the East Coast time. Right. But yeah, when are you gonna go? Make a commitment. Just put a time out there. Because what's wild is when you set a time when you're gonna go, your brain works towards that time. It gets all the work done at that time if you set it. If you don't set the time, then your brain is just going to dribble drabble, and the work is just going to extend in all parts of your life, the evenings, the weekends. It just won't ever stop. It'll just keep going and going and going. So set the time today. Let your rested brain make the important decisions. Make the decision to leave at the beginning of your day. And then don't negotiate with yourself as much as possible. Sometimes we can't, but as much as possible. So this is Susan's case study. She was the newest hire, busy faculty practice. Everyone told her first year is going to be crazy. You have to prove yourself, stay late, come in early, and, make sure we all know you're a team player. She was really driven by this, and she was staying later than she wanted to. She was getting home hours after what she wanted to. And she was already worried about burnout, even though it was her first year. And after the strategy, just decide at the beginning of the day when you're going to go home. She started leaving work at 4. She didn't do less work. She just said 4 p.m. is when I leave. She told herself that. And then she let her brain work efficiently into 4 o'clock. And at 4, she left. Nobody minded because the work was done. It was excellent quality. It was actually better because she wasn't tired. She enjoys her work. She has an extra 6 to 8 hours per workday with her family at full pay. She's there to make dinner, play in the yard with her child. Strategy number 1. Okay, let's do strategy number 2. So you've decided in strategy 1 what time you're going to leave. And in strategy 2, leave just 10 minutes earlier today. That's it. Just 10 minutes. And you're going to probably think 10 minutes, that's not going to make a difference. And what I say to that is you're right. 10 minutes, no one's going to notice. You won't get in trouble. No one will die if you leave 10 minutes early. You can't get sued over leaving 10 minutes early. Totally fine. You're right. You will not get in trouble for leaving 10 minutes earlier. You cannot get fired for leaving 10 minutes early. Right? Your brain it's saying, oh, this sounds really simple. I can do it. That's the whole point of 10 minutes, is just to start getting your time back. Your brain is on board. It shows you you're getting a win today. You're starting to move the momentum back to yourself, move the momentum back to your family. You improve yourself, you can cut back without getting fired, without getting sued, without getting in trouble. So 10 minutes won't make a difference. What I want to tell you is your brain is totally wrong when it offers this to you. Because here's what it sounds like. If someone says 10 minutes won't make a difference, this is what they're also saying. Oh, yeah, it won't take long. Let me just stay 10 more minutes. Let me just check my email one more time. Let me just do this one more case. Let me just call one more person. Let me just do one more note. And that thinking of 10 minutes won't make a difference actually is what has you being at point 8, working 1.0. It has you, this extra 10 minutes becomes 90 minutes. And all of a sudden, you're like, how am I back at full-time hours? And now I have 20% salary cut. So instead, what I want you to think, 10 minutes is a bedtime story. 10 minutes is one bedtime story. And just thinking that will shift everything for you, right? It has a different charge to it. Oh, this 10 minutes is important. It's a whole bedtime story. To our children, 2 more minutes with us is everything. What keeps us at 1.5 overworking is this thinking 10 minutes is nothing. It can't possibly be important. So we don't even try to leave early, or we just let ourselves stay late. What gets you to part-time hours of your full salary? 10 minutes, it's everything. It has you thinking differently about your day. You start deciding, I don't want to do that nonsense, right? You start saying, I'm going to start putting some boundaries up. I'm going to start kind of carving out time and I'm not going to negotiate with myself. I don't have time for that. 10 minutes is a bedtime story. Can really make your day more efficient. And then when 10 minutes feels easy, then scoot it back another 10 minutes. Leave 20 minutes early. You just iterate. You keep moving the time back until you're at part-time hours at your full-time doctor salary. You do it in small steps to make sure that you're getting your excellent quality work done, to make sure that all of your patients are cared for. But you slowly start expecting your brain to perform at a higher level. You start eliminating having better boundaries. And so this is my case study. Let me see. I'm going to pick a pause to look at the chat. Nicole said, I leave at 5 most days. Amazing. Husband drives me, so it's a pretty hard stop. We love that for you. I often leave him waiting for me to do one more thing. Nicole, you were on that slide where I said a tired brain is like one more thing, 5 more minutes. So so I love this for you. I love that you said earlier that you're a practice partner. It depends on you. Where am I going to find the time to cut? Nicole, we just found your time. The one more thing. Maybe experimenting, start with there. Start with really small things. What if it's possible your practice will be fine if you don't do one more thing? The other thing is, what if it's possible your practice makes even more money if the practice partner is rested more? Your biggest opportunity to make money is your brain. And the more tired it is, you have a ceiling on what you can earn. What if we just have found one area where you can start cutting back? The one more thing business. So start at the beginning of the day, decide when you're going to leave. Don't leave husband waiting. It's so funny. You say you're leaving him waiting. You're leaving you waiting, Nicole. Like, where can we just play with? Maybe this is my time to get started. Started on cutting back. Liz said, how do you navigate boss requiring 36 clinical hours per week, but you also have an RVU goal? When you're 130% of the goal, you're not allowed to reduce clinical hours. This is so interesting. So you've made your RVU goals, but your boss has certain hours. So there's a couple of ways to go with that, Liz. There's a couple of options. One is to have a conversation, and we're going to talk tomorrow about these conversations we have with the boss. Today is more like, what can we do without the boss? So one is to have a conversation with the boss, and it would be centered on, can we focus on the RVU goals and restructure how this is working? That can be done. You would have to have a very like sophisticated ask that tied assured that what your boss wants he's going to be getting. But that's more like at the contract level, could this be focused to this? 130. The other piece to this, what we're focusing on today is where can we make cuts? Where can we make adjustments independent of our boss? So that might look like if you're saying you have to be a certain number of hours in the hospital, like you're sort of like time clock, if that's your situation. Some people are, I guess that's what I would want to know. Is this a time clock issue? Then it can look like where can we make these 36 hours less laborious for you? Where is it feeling like you're leaving 36 hours feeling totally pummeled? How could we? It's not about being less efficient. It's about where can we build in breathing room if you absolutely have to be there 36 hours? Where could it feel less than 36 hours? You have leverage. If you're at 130%, there is leverage here to have conversations. It's super hard when the boss is not clinical. Yeah. So for that, and we're going to have an irresistible ask process tomorrow, but I'll start with that here, is that you would want to be talking about so if he's not clinical, what does he care about, and have the conversation steered toward that, looking for win-wins in that. Like, what does he care about? Let me frame that in this position, and where can I make adjustments at the level of the contract, or either independent? What we're looking at today is where can I have this adjustments made outside of this job, outside of the conversation. Let me know what you think when I show you this. So this is me. This is my schedule. Before I knew these processes, it was red all the time. Everything I was doing was work. And I just decided, let me just scoot this up. Let me leave 10 minutes earlier. Let me just leave at 6:50 instead of 7. No one's going to notice. No one's going to die. I felt safe trying. Nothing happened because nobody was there at work at 6:50 except for me. So it was fine. And I just kept progressively scooting that back until I felt like I had a time period where I could leave early, a significant amount of time early, and my work got done. And that was around 4:30 for this particular job. And then I slowly said, well, I don't need to be here Sundays. I actually don't need to be here Saturdays. And I did what I teach my clients is to plan essentials first, is to the reverse of what most physicians will do. Most physicians will put everything goes to the job and we squeeze in our doctor's appointments in the white spaces in between. But what we do in Next Level Freedom is we put what is essential, put that on the calendar first, let work float around that. And that way you can make sure totally like you're at point 8 and you stay at point 8, for example. So I put my therapy, my coach appointment first thing Monday because it had made my whole week go by faster. I wasn't doing my work and fighting in my brain about my boss who was not clinical telling me to be at my seat for 36 hours because I had found ways to kind of move around that. And then I added exercise back in, which had me feel like a whole human, and family adventure time, and put work around that. Leaving just 10 minutes early is how it started, though, going to part-time hours at all the jobs. And there was more here. There was more. I wanted to take even a Friday or a Monday or a Wednesday off. But it all started with just leave 10 minutes early today. That's the entire difference. 10 minutes early. This is Catherine's case study. She's a breadwinner, latest hire in community practice, was always behind and staying late, coming in on weekends. She'd been passed over for leadership titles and raises. Her boss is like, you're just not efficient enough. You're not confident enough. And she was tearful because she felt like she really needed this job, but she couldn't find a way to make the boss work. Sort of like Liz, her boss was just not seeing, her boss was just wanting, it seemed like a totally different want match for her. Catherine wanted to stay. Her family was in town. She built her dream house, but she didn't feel like there was a path forward with this particular chair. And so she started leaving just 10 minutes early. She said that first day, she felt like she had hope that she hadn't had in years. Week 1, she found herself laughing with her colleagues. Her colleagues were noticing she was having more fun. By week 2, her colleagues noticed she was happier. Week 3, her boss said, your confidence is really increasing. And week 4, her boss said, I'm going to be retiring. Would you like my job? Not that she wanted it, okay? She did not want it, but it was this idea that she really moved from her boss pushing her out to her boss seeing her as a leader. So what we wound up doing is Catherine did not want that job, but we helped her cut back to 3 days a week, making more than her full-time salary. So Liz, this is something that I would consider with you is where can we have conversations around cutting back in a way that just resets this job entirely? She helped her boss and colleagues get the same deal. How do we do this? Her hospital was going through a merger. So this was a unique time for the leadership, when you go through a merger, it's one opportunity to reset the whole structure of how jobs are made, the contracts. And she was able to get herself to be 3 days a week, full-time salary, as well as her boss, as well as two of her colleagues. It's just a matter of having conversations and taking advantage of opportunities as they present themselves as hospitals change. She loves her job. She's being paid really, really well. Now she's not worried about leaving. She is home 2 days of the week plus the weekends. She gets to be the parent and spouse she wants to be. So do her colleagues. They're all thankful for her. She didn't alienate them. They're like, "Ooh, I'm glad you thought about this. I'm glad we found this way to restructure the job in a way that just makes sense, where the hospital gets to keep them. They're huge RVU earners, like Liz, 130%, huge RVU earners, and she was able to build some buffer in the system because of the changes in the hospital. That's a really unique time to take advantage, whereas most physicians will say, oh my gosh, a hospital's coming. We have to be quiet and grateful, just keep our jobs. No, no, that's a time to lean in and to coach your chair, coach your hospital into making some powerful moves for everyone's benefit. And so, Liz, I think the biggest thing you need is the skill to coach your chair, get their attention, see this as a win-win to make those adjustments. And we definitely can help you with that if you want to have more details. So before this strategy, you say, I'm just going to say 5 more minutes, right? And the 5 minutes turns into 90 minutes. You say, I'm just going to do one more thing, Nicole. This is you. Right? And they're all me, by the way. I'm not calling anyone out. This is my brain too. I'm just going to do one more thing. And then we're in rush hour traffic and walk in after bedtime. You're the only one there at 7. So when the boss rushes in, somebody has got to take emergency call. There goes your weekend because you're the only one there. You tell yourself you'll finish your notes at home, and you find yourself falling asleep on the couch. You check your inbox one more time before bed. You're answering messages at midnight, terrible sleep. You wake up before the kids. You're going on the weekends to catch up. After, when you have the strategy, you're able to put it in place. At the beginning of the day, you decide to leave at 4. You're in your car at 4. You beat traffic home. You walk in before dinner. You've already gone before the emergency comes in, so that weekend call isn't yours. You can finish your notes before you leave. Your laptop stays closed. You don't have to check messages at home. You have, like Susan, 6 to 8 hours every night to unwind. Sleep by 10. Sleep in with the kids and weekends stay yours. So if you're thinking 10 minutes just isn't fast enough, I also want you to know I arbitrarily picked 10 minutes because that's what worked for me, but you can go as fast or slow as you want. If you're like, I just want to do this in 30 minutes, do it in 30-minute intervals. We've had several people who came in this day, they heard it, and that day they were leaving at 4 p.m., and it's been years later. So you get to go fast or slow as you'd like. And while you're iterating, this is an important time to build systems to help you close your charts faster. This is where you get to think, Nicole, this might be for you, is where can I be delegating work back to admins that I just took on because it will be faster? Where can I start pushing that work out? Where can I retire work that doesn't even need to be done anymore? We have technologied out of that situation. Where can I train my staff to better support myself? Liz, actually, these are all steps for you too. Where can I prove myself nothing's at risk by cutting back? I think, Liz, something else to consider is if you're at 130% of goal, how did that happen? And it's not a sarcastic way, so just kind of think, what if I was a more closer to 100% of goal? Is there a world where conversation where we can keep the 130% goal, if that's what you and your chair decide, but we just match your schedule to it? Why did we need 36 hours for that? You get 130% at 36 hours. I think there's just some ways to have some conversations or coaching your boss with your chair when you take what he wants or she wants into consideration too. Reframe it in that way to get their attention. All right, strategy 3 is building systems that generate white space with the time you have now. So a lot of people will say, when I partner next time, when this next chair, when we figure this out, then I'll build systems. I think it's so important to have systems based on the schedule you have right now. That's why we start with 10 minutes. That's why we start at the beginning of the day, telling yourself what time you'll go, because that's what we have right now. I'll give you Susan is our the most helpful system we teach. We have lots, but Susan said this is a thing that had her leave at 4 p.m. as a first year faculty, and she's been there ever since, is our email inbox black system. Okay, Liz said, that is so true. My first angle is 32 hours to meet 100%. Yeah, but asked that and they said not without a pay cut due to fairness, to your point. Yeah, so I think this is really good. I want to give you some good points, Liz. I love how you're thinking, by the way. Like you're just thinking this is sort of a, like we said at the beginning, this is a math equation. Where can I push the gas? Where can I push the brakes? You're already having discussions with them that they know that this is a concern of yours, that you already have communication streams open. So I think that's wonderful. Without a pay cut due to fairness. I mean, and I think this is where we have some ideas of, but, and this is just possibilities. I don't know what's right for you, but how can they control if you're at 100% versus 130? Like, where, I guess the prompt would be like, where can you influence your speed of seeing patients? You do have like that part would be under your control. Where is that experiment with maybe and to consider like well, and I'm not saying going from 130 to 80, but maybe 130 to 120%. Does that bring more breathing room to you? Does that make this scenario make more sense for you? And if it dips and they're like, why are you at 120%? What a great time to bring in. I can easily go up to 130 if we can adjust the number of hours. If they can't, then we just focus on the factors you can control. So you want to think about that. What do you think? You want to think, would they be able to stop me from being at 120%? Could I, not from a passive aggressive place, but if I have to be here 36 hours, where could I make this easier, the 36 hours easier for me? What's driving all the push? And if there is a red flag, we've noticed your productivity's dripped, where could that just be a whole nother conversation? Of course, there's the other possibility. I'm going to teach this tomorrow, which may or may not be an option for you, Liz, something you want to consider. But there are other ways of how we can reset a contract entirely. One is through these mergers and partnerships. Another is through competing offers. So if you have a competing offer, well, this group will offer me these hours for this amount. It makes the fairness thing irrelevant because now it's about matching your offer versus fairness for everyone. Fairness is such an interesting angle, isn't it? Because it's not really fair for you to be at 130%, right, in 36 hours. So I think there's so many oh, Liz, all I want to say is I know I don't know you, but there are so many variables that we can play with, and all of them can make this job better. Let me do the email inbox the blackout system. Okay. So this is for you who are like, I don't know, like the Nicole's, they're super they're partner level, lots of decisions, where I'm gonna find this time to cut back, or the Tolus, I'm at point A, but all of a sudden I'm at 1.0, or the Liz who's like, I'm at these hours, I've got all the stuff, I'm already maximum efficient. Where can I be starting finding time where I can at least, if I'm gonna be here for 36 hours because I don't want to leave this job and this is what it's set up as, how can I make this 36 hours easier for me? I'm going to give you one idea. You are going to adapt it for your job. It may or may not work for you, but there's likely elements of this that you can bring in. And one is to get out of Outlook. You can use Epic messages if you want, but I'm going to use Outlook as an example and as an email platform. There was a concept called Inbox Zero that people really loved at one point. I just want you to know Inbox Zero was invented by hospital leaders to get you to read their emails. It's not a thing, right? It's not like our goal in life is not to get to all of our emails read. Our goal in life, get the work done and go home. So we kind of want to reframe. Inbox Zero doesn't have to be a thing. If it's getting you caught up in your email and distracting you from multitasking, and you need to leave 10 minutes early today, consider managing your Outlook a little bit different. It really can destroy your efficiency and your energy. You wind up volunteering for more work, right? Because you see the blast email, all caps from your boss. We need somebody to cover the clinic tonight. And you wind up volunteering and doing work that you really ought not to be doing. You wind up solving problems that could be handled by like the admin in the morning. So we do need to get out of Outlook. That can be a wonderful way to start cutting back. What you'll find you're up against is this thought, I just need to check something real quick. Okay, don't be onto yourself. It's never real quick. It just opens like a Pandora's box of work. You're going to see all these emails with 100 people CC'd and angry emails and fighting, and we need someone to cover. It's not a good thing. I hear a lot of women say, but there could be something good in there. Answer is, no, right? There's nothing good in work email. It just doesn't happen that way. If it's good, I promise you, they're going to find you. They're going to come and find you and say, here is your bonus check we didn't expect. Like they will make sure you see it. I promise you're not missing out. Someone could die, someone can get sued. Here's the amazing thing about email. It's never an emergency. If it's an emergency, they will find you or they'll call 911. So what you really need when your body's like, I need to check email one more time. I need to look into the epic messages right before bed or on vacation. What your brain is really saying is, I need a break. I'm exhausted. And experiment with going for a walk, getting hydrated, having a snack, doing a dance party. Get home early can be the best break. So here's our inbox blackout system. Remove work email from your phone. Only check on the desktop. You'll be so much faster. It won't constantly interrupt you, keep you up at night. And when you're on a big computer, it's so easy to answer right away versus having to check everything on tiny little windows. Disable notifications. I love putting my phone in do not disturb mode. So nothing comes in unless it's an emergency. They'll call back twice. That'll push through. Or airplane mode, even better. You'll check it discreetly, but you'll have large blocks of time where you can push out a lot of notes or you can make a lot of critical decisions in a few moments. Remember this, not every email needs a response. Isn't that fantastic? If you're going to have a response, okay, thumbs up emoji, that works fantastic. So what if you're Nicole, Liz, leaders, Tolu, what if you just this one piece? We're not going to respond to every email. That could be your 10 minutes for today. If you find yourself writing paragraphs, CCing anyone, forwarding an email, including a PubMed ID, getting upset and emotional and reactive, this is me. I'm not calling anyone out. This was me. Just stop. All right. Just like put that email down and walk away. Because I would tell myself, Christine, if you send that email, you're going to be up all night. First of all, they're going to respond back to you with all these other people CC'd. It's going to be a whole thing. I'm going to be worried about it all night. I mean, be fighting in my head for a week and then fighting at faculty meeting. No, no, no. Stop. If that happens, just stop. What I would love, I want to like, if you haven't tried Claude AI, consider helping Claude AI be your assistant. It's an AI form. It's more academic, more for physicians in medicine, wherever your setting is, and give it a prompt. You can just voice memo into it. Here's my idea. I need it to be brief. This is going to the chair of a department, must be professional, and then copy paste. So your emails could be so much less time. Consider checking. In our system, we have a process of checking your email if you can. Just experiment 3 times a day, 10 minutes max. That's what we work up to. For some of you, that might not be possible. And in that case, just like, could I check it one time less today? Could I give myself boundaries for one of the sittings I have email? Like, could I just start practicing constraining my work to a small period of time? So whatever feels like a push for you, but the possibility is you get home 10 minutes early, try that. We suggest this is so good. Check email if you can 2 hours after you get to work. So not from your bed, not from the stoplight in front of the hospital, right? 2 hours after you get to work, your brain when you get to work is going to be the sharpest it'll be all day. Knock out all your heavy work, all your heavy complex thinking tasks. 2 hours afterwards, go ahead and jump in email and see what's there, who needs help. After lunch can be a good second time. After lunch, if you check it during lunch or before, you may not get to lunch. It might turn your stomach. You might get caught up in a thing. And it doesn't have to be an hour-long lunch, right? It could just be 10 minutes of focus, rest, hop in after your lunch so you make sure you eat. And the last time to check emails 2 hours before you go for the end of the day. So many physicians, myself included, I was like, let me just check right before I go in case there's, just to make sure everything's okay. And there would be a boom, we need you to stay with someone for a call, or boom, there's this patient care issue, or we need your response right away. And of course they don't. Next day would have been fine, but it really would have me staying at work hours later, not sleeping well. So can you do this all from the beginning? Absolutely you can. But if you're feeling like some resistance about any of it, then just try one thing. Just try one thing. Just try checking your email one time less today. Instead of giving yourself 30 minutes or unlimited time at the email, just try one time that you're sitting down. Let me just time box this for 15 minutes, for example. Okay, let me see. We have some chats. Yes, yes, yes. I think that may be the way to go. Working that. Okay, Liz, you need to come back tomorrow. I'm going to tell you how to negotiate like a pro athlete. It's insane. It's insane what I've seen people create. Academics, private practice, whatever. We're going to be talking about that tomorrow, but it can be a beautiful way to totally reset a job in a way where your boss is Your boss in some ways, I think I'm hearing this here, is, or maybe I'm confusing this from yesterday. In some ways, our hospitals are, what is the word? Look, expression. Like their hands are tied. They have this system. It sounds like your boss is like 36 hours, 36 hours. This is just what everyone has to do. Their hands are tied unless you bring in a counter offer. And when you bring in a counter offer, everything resets. It's tricky. So Liz, come back tomorrow. I'll tell you more about it. You can don't only do it if you are okay leaving, because sometimes that is the outcome. But if you're willing to go both ways, you can. And if you do it very carefully and include your boss in the process, you can keep all options open. We position it as, we do this all the time. We position it as, this is you helping your boss get to a fair schedule for you. This is you helping your boss, not you pitted against the boss. We always want to find a way where we're aligning our interests so you keep all options safe. So, Liz, you're going to love it. You have to hear tomorrow. Nicole said, I learned about Claude last week. I know. I know. So here's what I would say. Nicole said she just learned about Claude, and I'm torn about the efficiency, environmental impact. Okay, so Nicole, this is what I would say to you. Don't use it irresponsibly. So don't go in there to say, I'm watching this TV show. Can you tell me where this person is from? Right? I'm going to Paris. Can you build out an itinerary for me? I'm listening. If some of you want to, fine. But I'm talking to Nicole, who's worried about the environmental impact of AI. So don't use it irresponsibly. Just say, I'm going to use this in a responsible manner. If I can Google search something, I will. Right? But I want to say, Nicole, I love you so much. We are finding so many areas for you to cut back to part-time hours. Every time you write in the box, I'm finding like 5 different things, right? Um, I want you to consider. So we're seeing like now the environment is coming in, the partner was coming in, the environment's coming in, 5 more minutes is coming in. We're seeing all these opportunities for you to cut back to part-time hours. Here's another one. I want you to consider, if your job isn't sustainable as it is, the environment you need to be most concerned about is your office environment, your home environment. That environment counts too. And if you want to make up for the other environment, send $10,000 to Greenpeace. Like, find, right? We can find clever ways, but it's just this idea of my environment doesn't count, even though you're the one who's making all these decisions as a partner. The group depends on you. Your family depends on you. Your environment counts too. What do you think, Nicole? What do you think? That's how I think about it. Megan says, making images. Nicole says, yes. Okay. Nicole and I go way back, so I feel like she's very forgiving of if I'm a little bit strong in my coaching, but I want her to be a part-time hours, and I see her brain telling her she can't, and I'm like, absolutely not. You can definitely be part-time hours. We found 5 things on this one call. Okay, Megan says making images and video has so much more environmental impact than text. Just avoid that, right, Megan? I love that, Megan. Thank you for adding that. So the idea is, right, is another resource, as we won't use it for everything. We're going to be very smart about how we use it. And also the environment I work in matters. And if I'm able to be in this job 10 years longer and send $20,000 to Greenpeace, I'm going to find ways. I'm going to find ways where we can take care of everyone. Nicole says, I need to get over judiciously using AI and not tell my kid I'm using it. Okay. Or you could tell your kid, guys, everybody, people, loved ones. The focus is on mom being home more. If you see me on AI doing something inefficiently, call me out on it. Or don't tell them at all. You don't even have to tell them, and just kind of have this story between, like, we're looking for ways to get to part-time hours. This might be one of them. I will make it up to the environment and I'll be careful about it. Okay. What do you think? Let me tell you about Sarah. She was a senior leader in private practice. Oh, Nicole, she's so much like you, but I mean, in terms of this demographic, everyone counted on her. She spent most of her days, like her work job of actually doing the clinical piece, the simplest part of her day. Most of her day was solving problems, the CEO, her colleagues, the lab staff. People would come into her office hours at a time to vent, talk, get emotional support. She would tell me 90 minutes, someone was crying about their divorce. She loved her staff. She was really struggling with, where does me getting my work done blend in with the emotional support of the lab, which I find a lot of women physicians, we feel very tasked to take care of the emotions of our group. So here's what happened. She really didn't want this particular role of being everyone's like hallway therapist, but who else would do it? She was put in charge of the group and they really needed her. She didn't get a chance to start her work often until around 3, until the staff started to leave. And she was routinely getting home after 9 during the week. She would go back on the weekends when the staff wasn't there to get her work done. And she was working around 70 hours, but getting paid for 40. So she just started by leaving 10 minutes early. She started the email inbox blackout system. She used her 100% effective work boundaries. And she now leaves work 5 hours early a day. I actually think it's more, around 3 p.m., because it's 6 hours early a day. She doesn't go on the weekends. She created boundaries. She's not interrupted all the time. She has office hours, so they still are able to rely on her, but it's not constant interruptions. Hey, this won't take long, right? It's a very constrained, peaceful work environment. She created staff leaders, so she's the last person that they bring problems to. So, Nicole, I wonder if this could be helpful for you. She's the last person the lab reaches out to. She created a wall of leaders. She empowered the staff that were crying in her office to become leaders in the lab. They loved it. They did not want to be crying at work. No one wants to be that emotional at work. It's so hard. They were leaders at work and they were protecting her schedule. She leaves work at 3, full pay as a medical director. So before you have this process, you're the group therapist for everyone. You don't want it. You don't want this role. It's too much work. It's unpaid. You just want to get home to see your babies, like Tolu said. You have a box of Kleenex in your office because people are regularly crying and venting. You can't even get to your work to sometimes around dinner time. Got a sec, turns into 40-minute problem solving sessions 5 times a day. You're so tired before you even get to your work. You're on call in your home. It feels like every night people are reaching out to you, even when you're not on call. Your contract says 40 hours, but your computer says double that. You've traded your evenings for a job that doesn't even know you gave them up. After, there's no more Kleenex. This is a no Kleenex zone. You have boundaries, and it actually helps your staff. They don't want to be tearful at work. They want to be focused. They want to feel productive. They want to feel like they're accomplishing good work. They want that too. And now they have an actual therapist. You help them find an actual therapist. No unpaid work. Your office is quiet. You start your work at 9 a.m., not 9 p.m. You're on call exactly when you're supposed to be on call. And when you're not, you just leave your pager at work. You're home by 4, full pay. Evenings and weekends are yours. The group now has a group of leaders to depend on. Right. So that is it. Day 2. Here's what we covered: how to get to part-time hours at full pay without having to talk to your boss. And then for Liz, we talked about it a little bit of how you can talk to your boss. We'll talk a lot more about that tomorrow. Here's what you need to remember. Decide at the beginning of the day when you're going to end. Decide on your most rested brain when you're going to end your day. And then don't negotiate with yourself. Your brain will get fast. It'll be like, oh, we're leaving at 4 p.m. We don't have time for this. It's the best thing ever. Then leave just 10 minutes early. When that's easy, leave 20 minutes early. Do a slow adjustment so you can make sure you're doing excellent work. Develop systems that allow you to cut back with the time you have right now. I gave you one system, Outlook email. Just take a little piece of that. There's your 10 minutes to leave early today. So you might be thinking, questions? Write it in the chat if you have questions. I'm just going through the questions as we're here. Instagram too. Write questions if you want. I am definitely answering questions. Okay. You might be thinking, it can't be this simple. This is just too easy. It really is this simple. This is how I did it at all 3 jobs. I just started in this 10 minutes. Getting to part-time hours with full-time pay is just a series of decisions and conversations and knowing how to coach you and your colleagues. That's it. It's so simple. Here's what's complicated. I'm going to wait 5 or 10 years. I'm going to wait for the next boss. I'm going to outlive this boss. I'm going to hope promotion solves all this. That is complicated. That is so hard. It's totally out of your control because the next boss could be worse. Promotion just might lump more work on you. Complicated is what has you missing out on $21 million. Just let it be simple. It's simple. You can get a result right now, today. So I invite you, be at part-time hours, full-time doctor pay in under 90 days. I want you to get your $21 million. It's so easy. What do you think? All right, so remember this chart that I showed you at the beginning. The average white man in America, doctor, is making $430,000, and there's a steep tax for being a woman, especially a woman of color. That if you break down these numbers, A Latina woman will make $190,000 less per year times 30-year career. That's $5.7 million loss. And if she invested just that little bit of difference, not the whole salary, just that little bit of difference in the stock market with an average rate of return of 8% ROI, that would be $22 million, $21.5 million loss. This matters, but I want you to just consider what matters most is how much you're paid and how many years you're working. The multipliers are money and time. So don't wait on this decision to cut back and keep your full-time salary. Every year you wait, this is a chart of every year you wait on this decision, what it costs. The cost of waiting is $1 million a year on this graph. So don't wait. Get your part-time hours, keep your full-time salary, and then let's keep adding on to your part-time salary. Adding on to your salary. Tolo says, I work in a clinic and I have a set time to see patients, so I'm not sure how I'll be able to leave. Tolu, I have a million ideas for you. Are you ready? Because we talked before, I believe. We talked before about the charting time was just dragging out. So even though you were seeing your patients, if the charting time was taking a long time through procrastination or through whatever, like were the systems that you have, that time period can be a great time sunk that you're not getting paid for. So let's just assume, and this is how I teach my clients, let me give this to you here, is that let's put our constraints in. Let's put our constraints into the equation. I have patients that are have a set time. I'm definitely going to have to see them. Okay, then what else is the variable? One big variable is how can I get my charts done faster? How can I have them done before I leave the clinic space, before I leave for the day, for example? Like we might, if we just keep the patients where they are, what are the other variables that can be reduced? So charting is going to be one for you. There is always the possibility of how could some of the some of the physicians I work with, we have been able to work on the clinic time in terms of about looking at overbooking, about where their nurse managers are putting 3 people into the same time slot. So also consider, what if it's not as close? What if we could work on the whole part of the equation? We can look at what are systems in place at the clinic where you're not double booked, for example, or where you can be paired with a better admin, for example. Like, where are all those variables? And then what about the things, assuming nothing can change, where can I start changing, getting my charting done, moving faster through the day, having less to bring up home? What do you think, Tolo? Oh my gosh, I always forget about the Q&A box. Someone wrote a Q&A box. Okay, okay. Anonymous Q&A said, I know tomorrow's negotiations. Megan, are you still here? If not, let me just say this to reply. My prospective medical director, a job I was negotiating with, just called. I'm trying to negotiate 20 and 40-minute visits and being done with visits by 4, but I already feel like we are butting heads. Any advice? Megan, I'm happy to help you. Yes, and we'll talk about this more tomorrow, but why not since we're here? Okay. Why do you feel like you're butting heads? I just need a little more information. Because here's what I see. They are calling you, which means they want you. And you're taking the call, which means you want them. So to me, I'm seeing you guys have a lot in common, and we're just looking at we're looking at some details that are important. We're just having conversations. So I guess I missed where you're butting heads. If you're still here, tell me. But if you're not here and you're watching this on replay, the advice I'd give you is, what if you're not butting heads? What if you're just like, we're just having conversations. If this is a prospective job, I'm assuming you already have a current job, unless you're a fellow. So that brings in even more options. If you have a job that you're at, and this is a prospective job, you do have more leverage here. In that case, you can say, we'll teach this process tomorrow, but the idea is you always start with what gets them to the table. You always start with what they want. So for example, I'll just pull this out of the air since I don't know details, is I would really like to come here. I'll tell you, for where I am in my career, where my family is, I really need to have 20/40 minute visits and be done by Friday. How can we make this happen? I would love to be able to say yes and sign this contract. Do you see the difference on that? That's good. That's good negotiating. Now, he may say something or she may say something, and then we just re-enter the conversation again. We use those data points, which, by the way, if you have them, I'm happy to help you with them here or tomorrow. But I think the main thing is don't think you're butting heads. I'm going to teach this tomorrow. I think I taught it yet a little bit yesterday. I did, is remember that you are a highly skilled person with very few people in the world have your skills. They absolutely want you. You're going to make over $100 million for them over your career. As was just an average number published. They definitely want you there. I want you to think these are small details. You absolutely could get them. This is an easy yes for them. What do you think? That might help you more than we're butting heads. And by the way, if I could just keep coaching on that, it's okay to butt heads. Okay. I also want to say, like, on the other end of things, it's okay to butt heads. I don't love that thought because it has me feel like I'm fighting with this person that I really want to be on good terms with. So I don't love that thought. I love kind of thinking no, we want all the same things. We're just figuring it out. Okay. Megan said she wants shorter visits, me to just work out schedule with clinic manager later who hasn't been hired. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, Megan, I think you're in a fantastic spot. I just have so many ideas for you. Are you ready? Do you want some? So, if she wants you to work with a clinic manager who hasn't been hired, I'm like, amazing. I'll get that from that person. My thought about it is we'll just so I don't see the butting heads. To me, I'm like, okay, I'll just solve that, sort that out later. They haven't hired her to me just means that this is something that can be adjusted as we go. You tell me what you think, because the other piece to that is if you're like, no, I want to be reassured, I don't want to leave this job unless it's set in stone, then I probably would just say that. I'd probably say something. This is how I would say it. So, Megan, what I do in my program is I give people scripts. You give me information and I give you scripts. So it sounds something like this. I would say, I really want to be there. This job, I would love to be able to say yes and move. And I hear your point about the shorter visits and talk to the clinic manager. For me to leave this job, I do have to have some reassurances about this. For example, if that's true, if like this is like you can't leave until this, I would just say that. I really want to make this work is how you started though. For me to make this move, I really want to be reassured that I can have these visits. Since our clinic managers in here, is this something that you and I can decide together? Because what I'm hearing, Megan, you tell me, I know chat is like terrible, it's so short, but it doesn't sound like she's saying no. It sounds like she's like, talk to this person, which is a classic chair move. And here's how I want you to think about it. Chairs have a million thousand decisions to make. And they're like, if I can just delegate this to somebody else, I would be able to sleep better at night. So they're humans, and you can just give her the information that's pertinent. I'd really like to say yes to you, but I need to have this reassured. Can you reassure me about this? Can we make this work? What do you think, Megan? Shanita said, I couldn't join yesterday. The replay. Yes, Shanita, it is so good. I taught you how not to get fired. And it really is the foundation for the part-time hours asking for 100K. First, we have to make sure you're not fired. The replays goes out every day. So I sent an email yesterday. You absolutely have the replay. It may be in your spam or your promotions folder, but it's in your email. And if you don't find it, just reply to any of my emails. My assistant will send it directly to you. It's been posted, and today's will be posted as well. Megan, do you want to come on and talk to me? You raise your hand if you do. We can talk about this. And I'm saying that because Megan said I'm nervous. So, Megan, let me help you make 21 million more dollars. It's what I do every day. I'm really good at it. Let's see. Megan has raised her hand. Okay. Megan, let's just talk about this, shall we? Oh my gosh, there are so many people here, everybody. I didn't get to say hi to everyone. Megan, I'm gonna bring you on, but I wanted to say hi to Nadia and Karishma. Oh, so many people I don't know. Dahlia is back. Dahlia, I was thinking about you. I had a thought for you, but I forgot it. Arshna, Amanda, AL. Megan, shall we talk? Let's just do this. Before we bring you on, Megan, I do want you to know that it's recorded and it will go out in the replay if you're okay with that. So just kind of like in your mind, just decide on what you want to share. And I'm trying to think, how do I do this? I'm not going to share the screen. Are you okay with that? Megan has her hand up. Okay, let me see if I can stop share for a second. Give me a second. Stop share, but I don't want to stop the recording. Hmm. Let me get my Give me a sec. Don't worry, everything's fine. If anybody else wants to be coached or has questions, make sure you put it into the chat so we can talk or raise your hand. Megan, let's see if I can pull you on. Promote to panelist. I mean, because here's the thing. We can go back and forth on chat. I love it. I will. But if we can just talk, it would be so much faster.
Yeah,
Let's
I
see if
think
I can
it worked.
try.
I don't know if she's on
Hello.
video or not, but
My
hi.
sound isn't on. Hold on. Give me a sec. Let's see if that works. Test, test, test. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yay! I can
Okay,
hear
I appreciate
you.
it. Thank you.
I'm so
Yeah,
glad you're here. What are you
yeah.
nervous about?
Well, so I'm on a fully telehealth job. My husband's military, so we move a lot. So we have to move. And so I entertained a couple offers and one of them seemed like a really good fit. But when I kind of went in with my questions to say like this is what's really important to me and met with the like admin team, it seemed like things were good. But they were like, oh, we just got to double check with the medical director who I've never met because we're in a different state. And I guess she just took my call like it was questions and not like negotiation. And it was very straightforward. And it just made me
Mm.
feel like, oh, she's not really entertaining any of these as options. And when I, asked them as options, it was like, no, that's just really the way things are. And then um she wanted the shorter visits, the, more time, more like directed schedule, not no flexibility with that. And then yeah, I just feel like I kind of told her, well, I could just stay at this job, and she seemed surprised by that. So she was going to call me back, and she called me, and I missed it. I'm just nervous I want to have it in writing. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, couple of things. So, just so I have a clear context. So you have a job now.
hmm
This is another potential job.
hmm
And is this job like, is this you absolutely have to have this job work or there are other
I am
options
not
or what?
super happy at my current job, and I feel like this could be a really good fit, but there are a lot of unknowns. And if working with them like right now is already making me feel nervous, I'm wondering if it's going to be
Okay.
flexible at all.
Okay. Let me help you out with this. By the way, I'm very optimistic about what's happening. Everything I hear, I'm like, yes, we can make this work. So, a couple of things. The nervousness is coming from this place of it is coming from a place where we're butting heads. But what you just said, which I want to bring back because I think it's really going to help you. She thought it was just a Q&A session. She didn't realize it was negotiation. So she's approaching this as just a busy person, answer. So we just need to give her a little bit more information. Like what you just said, I thought was really brilliant, which would be, I'd really love to make this work. I'm not super happy. I'm looking around. I'm interested in moving. I would love to make this work. There is one thing that I just want to get in writing, make sure it happens. It's so important for me. It's blah, 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 blah. And we bring that in. Her mindset is she's just answering questions. What if we just help change her mindset? No. She's so close to signing you. It's this very small thing. Let me pause there. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I hope so. I felt like when I talked to the like admin and other people, they were really wanting to hire me, and I never
Yeah.
really got that vibe from her. And then the only time I did have her in the interview, I had asked about point 0.8 FTE because I've always done that and wanted to
Yeah.
continue that. And she just kind of like looked at me in the camera and kind of was like, "We'll see." And I was kind of like,
Mhm.
"Okay," but everyone else has been really positive. Like, "We'd love to
Yeah.
have you. Please
Yeah.
come." And
Oh my
I don't know
gosh.
that she's like as much like she wants me that much. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I love you so much, Megan. We're going to talk about this tomorrow. This is what I say, but I want to get this to you here is don't overread people's expressions that you don't know. Her blank face might be, I'm excited for this person to come here. She just has a blank face, right? What if it's not, what if she wants you to come there, but she's just not a super communicative person? What if that is true? What would be different here?
Yeah, that's totally possible. I
You
just
said something like I thought, correct me if I'm wrong. I thought I heard you say you told her you were thinking about another job and she said she wants to call you. She wants to talk to you.
Yeah, I think that she didn't realize that I could keep the current job that I had because of the move, and so I think that's where she said, "Okay, well, I can talk with some leadership." And then she pressed me a lot for questions of how when I needed the answer back, and I really
Sure.
wanted to have it back this
Okay.
week. And so then she
Megan,
was like, "I'll call you
I
back."
have like the best news ever for you.
Okay,
Everything she's doing is a sign of someone who really, really wants you.
okay,
She just doesn't know. It's not very clear to her yet that this is a kind of like, I don't want to use the word deal breaker, but this is something that's so important to you,
yeah,
right? Otherwise, she'd be like, okay, good luck at your next job. Thanks for
Yeah.
letting me know. No, no, everything she's doing is someone who really, really wants you. She just doesn't have a very expressive face. And I'll tell you, I
Yeah.
say this tomorrow, is it generally when people are thinking of making a change, their expression goes blank because they're
Mm,
thinking, how could I do this? Like if you saw me doing this webinar, thinking, I'd be looking like this. Right?
yeah.
I look so serious because I'm thinking really hard.
Yeah.
What does it feel like when you tell yourself every sign is she really wants me? We can make this work. I'm just going to let her know this is something I need to get in writing. I'm just going to help her help me. What does that feel like?
Uh, it definitely feels better. I still am carrying a little bit of like, what if she offers me like part of what I want, and then how much do I hold the line? And like, have I already made a bad impression? Like, can I hold my nerves together enough to say positive and talk like that instead of being meek?
Yeah, yeah. So I think those are good questions. What I would say is one option is take cross the bridge as you go. Everything your brain's worried about, what if I don't get? We could also say, but what if you do get? Like we can't see the future. From what I'm seeing, it sounds very like I would say there's an 80% or more chance this happens. She's giving every indication she wants you bad. So I'm extremely optimistic, but I don't know exactly. But notice the difference when we tell ourselves, I don't know, I might be getting a bad impression, I may have ruined it, versus everything indication is going well. All her signs point that she wants to make this work. I want to make this work too. What does that feel like in your body when you're in that mindset?
I mean, yeah, that definitely feels better. That helps me to be more calm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I just need to like recognize that value and that ability that it could be positive.
Yeah, yeah. So here's what you do. You will be at a fork in a road. Oh my gosh, something went wrong. Or you show your brain the evidence. She called me back right away. She said she's going to bring it to leadership. She wants me on the phone right away. She just didn't know that I was actually asking these questions. I'm just going to make it clear so we can make this work. You just keep bringing your brain back to this piece. Also, you can watch the replay where I said like 3 times, Megan, you were in such a good position. This is so good. Don't give up now. I don't think
Thank
there's
you.
any reason to think what happens if she doesn't, because she wants you and you want it. So I wouldn't even consider when your brain offers you, what do I do? I wouldn't even consider it.
Okay, thank you.
That's what I
I
would do. What do you
appreciate
think?
it. Yeah, that makes me feel better. I think I need to like go call her back while I ride this energy.
Call her back. Tell her I would love to make this work. We will be a really good team. The only thing in the way is I do need to be at point A. Can we just make that happen? And it's a yes from me. What do you,
Yeah,
something along those lines.
yeah.
Also, I'll be here. I'm still answering questions, so you can come back. If she says something, we'll keep going. I'll be here tomorrow too. Sound good?
Wonderful. I will try to sign on tomorrow and give you an update.
Megan, I'm so excited for you. Go do it and then let us know how it goes. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Megan, I'm
Okay.
excited for
Bye.
you. Borrow my confidence if you want to.
I will. I know. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to send you back. I'm going to make you to attendee. I'm very excited. So that's what coaching is like for those of you who are just watching. Isn't that fun? It was the best. Megan's going to go make a ton of money and she's going to be a part-time hours with that strategy. Anybody else want coaching? If you do, raise your hand. I taught for an hour. I made my promise, but I also said I will stay on until all the coaching is done. So this is your chance. If you want coaching, you can raise your hand. If you don't, that's fine too. I'm just looking at the Q&A. All right. We talked about that. Okay, AL. You're wanting to start a job at part-time, but feel awkward negotiating because all their colleagues are working full-time. I'm doing locums, so full-time would still be less than locums pay. AL, let me know if you want to come on. Otherwise, I'll just talk you through this. Think about it. It's so interesting. First of all, I would say a couple things. You don't know what all the other, I know our brains like, but I know, but they told me. Here's what I want you to know. You don't know exactly what's happening with all the other people. You just can't possibly know. Even if the chair says there's no precedence, you can't possibly know. So start there because whenever our brain's like, I know this happens, we close our brain to the possibility. Nobody is like you. You're allowed to be different than other people. You're allowed to set this job up in a way that makes a lot of sense to you. So we don't have to tie your negotiations to everybody else. And it's possible none of the other ones wanted to be part-time. It's possible none of the other ones knew there was an option, right? You are helping modernize this group. Part-time should be an option. So consider those things that it's not, I think if you go into the negotiations thinking about what everybody else wants, which is so common for women positions, we are socialized, we're taught to be caretakers. We tend to think about everybody else, and we forget to take care of ourselves. You taking care of yourself, by the way, is taking care of this group because you're more likely to go there and stay there for a long time if you're happy. So, how you take care of everyone is first figure out what you want. It sounds like you want to be part time. What if I told you it doesn't even matter that no one else is part time? Those two things are not related at all. And think about it. Just think about how hospitals work. Everything is made up. Titles are made up, raises are made up, contracts are made up. It's so interesting. I hear people, and I've coached 1,000 women physicians, come in and think this contract, like it's set in stone. Contracts are made up. They can be amended at any time. All of this is made up. So I want you to consider that you, this job is a chance for you to get exactly what you deserve and want. That if you present it in the way that we're talking about, like what I just did with Megan, I can help you with that here today or tomorrow. This is a really good win for this hospital. You're going to make on average $100 million for this hospital. They cannot wait for you to be there. They're so excited. The only thing is they write in their contract, your line says part-time. That's a very easy ask for them. Why wouldn't it be? So what I want to give all of you, I want you to consider as you move forward in your jobs is what if what you're asking for is simple? It's simple because it's all made up. It's simple because they want you to be there. It's simple because you will create for them more money than you will cost. Like you are just a good investment. What do you think, AL? And then what is the other thing for AL? I helped someone recently. What is the worst thing that could happen? So if you ask for part-time, what is your brain? Your brain is afraid of something. It's like, I feel awkward asking for this thing that never exists before. Like, what are you afraid of happening? Like, let's deal with that. Most women physicians will say, oh, I'm afraid they're going to say no. They're going to laugh at me. And I kind of think, what if that's not what if that's going to be, I mean, we wouldn't love it and it would feel weird, but we'll be over it. And if they laugh and then we get part-time and everyone's happy, wouldn't that be amazing? Or if they say absolutely not, and you see how inflexible they are, you go find another job, or you figure out how liking the full-time. What if there's really not, there's there's far less to be afraid of than you think. I want you to also consider that this is the path to get to part-time hours. It's just asking for it. What will help you is to know you are a very good investment. They absolutely want you. I guess something I had told someone earlier, and I use this a lot as I was moving through my jobs, is I kind of just said, what if the worst thing they can say is no? And even a no, I'll talk about this tomorrow. A no is not forever. A no is no value statement on who we are as a people. A no is a data point. So as you learn to coach your boss, I'm going to teach you this tomorrow. If they were to say no, you can say, what's in the way of us making this work? I really want to be here. For my family, what I need right now is this part-time hours or yeah. What I need is part-time. Well, what could we explore that might get closer to that? What's in the way? You want to find out what that no is about so that you can address it. So, for example, in a case we had, someone said no, the boss said no. And when she asked why, he said, well, I have 5 faculty onboarding in 90 days. It's really crazy right now. And she said, okay, can we revisit this in 90 days? Can we just put it in the contract part-time hours in 90 days? And the boss said, yes. So find out what's behind the no. What if the no isn't as scary as you think? I can help you with a no, by the way. I'm here today. I'm here tomorrow. We can help you. What are you afraid of happening? Let's just address for that. And what if it's not awkward at all? What if your boss is like, oh my gosh, we would love to do this for you. Yes, part-time done. Right? What do you think? Maybe missing more. Let me know. I'm doing locums, so full-time pay would still be less than locums. You can even bring that into the conversation. Is that this is still going to save the hospital money because you're not going to be paying, you don't have locums rate. This could be a win-win for everyone. I think the only thing is you think something bad's going to happen, but what if nothing bad happens? The no doesn't have to be a death sentence, it's data to get your yes. That's what I teach you tomorrow. The no gets you closer to your yes. Also, I want you to keep in mind it might not be a no. It might be a yes. It usually is. It usually is. Okay, no, Nicole said I just became residency program. Yeah, so that would be interesting, Nicole, is to kind of consider um if we were on the call together, it's just like how do we get there? If you love it, if it feels like it is lighting you up, we love that for you. Of course, we want you to say yes. But if you didn't love it and we're saying yes because like finding what are the reasons behind like why you're pack I would love to know why you're packing your schedule so much and also being like how do I unpack my schedule? I think whatever that is what's driving your schedule as partner to be like probably 3.0 FTE. Sometimes my guess is there's a little bit of if I don't do it, who's going to do it? Sometimes there's that. And if that's coming up, is well, maybe it shouldn't be done. Like, if nobody wants to do it, including you, maybe we just shouldn't do it. Maybe that's the answer. Like, why do we have to labor? Why do we have to do physical labor if it's not what we want? Nobody wants to do it. Maybe it just shouldn't be done. Also, if we're always the one who picks up, we miss the opportunity to let other people come up. Right? So if you're always the one they can count on to say yes, there are other people who might be like, well, Nicole will do a great job. We could look at experimenting with how could we create other leaders? Or maybe this opportunity is not for the group. The other thing is, this is something for everyone in the room, is whenever we're taking on a big responsibility like residency program director, I always suggest, and Nicole, it's not too late, we can do this too, is I always suggest, okay, if we're going to take on a big responsibility, where can we unload a big responsibility? Where can we make sure, because in every pivot in your career, you should be working fewer hours and paid more money. It happens through these conversations. I'm willing to be a program director, but I'm going to need whatever, $20,000 raise. I'm going to need an admin just for me and the program director. I'm going to need to be down to zero point 0.5 FTE. Some version of every conversation. It's not a one-way dump on us. It's okay, how do we clear the field right now? How do I use this? Yes, because I love residency program directing to clear my clinical load. Do you know? Are you ready for this? There is a person I know of who you've heard me talk about this example. 0% clinical work, full salary in the Bay Area, that's like hundreds of thousands of dollars. No clinical work. He's just a practice manager. He makes all the decisions. Now, that's an important job. That's a job that makes sure they make millions of dollars. It's an important job. But most practice managers do that on top of their job. So they're seeing a full RVU, they're generating all their RVUs and doing program practice manager stuff in the evenings and weekends. It's like admin time. He was able to negotiate. No. His whole job is practice manager because he could coach his colleagues and seen it as a very valuable job. They were like, please, for the love of God, do not let me have to do a budget, right? I don't want to do Excel. I don't want to meet with the hospital. I don't want to know about tail insurance. We will collectively pay your $500,000 salary a year. All you do is the budget stuff. I want you to consider that there's a world where as you bring on more admin, the senior you get, you can release your clinical duties. And maybe you love your clinical duties and you don't want to do that, but at least find something else that you can carve out and give away and release. What do you think about that, Nicole? By the way, if anyone wants to be coached, you can raise your hand and come on. I'm just kind of working through the chat box. Karishma, how do you negotiate clinical time to protect basic science research time, especially for grant writing comes through? Yeah, I have helped people do this. I will think of one example. She has been 20 plus years, has been a physician scientist, and we've been able to protect her time. I think she's on 6 weeks. I think she's on 12 weeks a year of clinical service, and the rest of it is research time. And we helped her get a 12-month sabbatical as well. The idea being you're just as valuable, but you have to strategically know that as you go into it. So what that sounds like is I'll just mix things up. I don't know you, Krishma, but it would be sounding like as you're looking for a job, or maybe you're in place. I'm not sure of the difference, but we'll be having conversations with the chair that I want to come and write papers and write grants and get funding. It's going to take, of course, it's going to take me a bit of time to get up to speed. So I'm looking for a break in the clinical schedule as I accomplish these goals. And it's just a conversation of asking for your chair is going to say every faculty does these number of weeks, and you'd say yes, I understand, but I also need to be building up a lab and growing our grants and papers arm. So can I do these number of weeks? You absolutely can negotiate, Karishma. There are very few people with your skills who are a scientist and also a doctor. There are very few people who can do what you do. What you do keeps the lights on, the grant funding. You absolutely can. It's just a series of holding these conversations, of seeing what your chair wants and being able to help walk them back to build up time for you to fill grants. Yes, absolutely can. I mean, there are some grants. I'm thinking about the K grants. I mean, I'm not an expert in these where they allow you a little bit of time. So is there zero grant funding? It doesn't matter. Don't get twisted on the details. You absolutely can. It is, Kirschman, what I want you to know is it's just a series of conversations. It's about keeping your chair focused on what they want, which is they want you there to write grants and do papers and research. You position it as, for me to get there, I do need some time to put this together. And then it's a matter of negotiating the weeks. Let me think of anything else. Yeah, I think thinking about the other physician scientists I've helped, it's some things that they've added in is all for the position. What you want to be thinking about is the stakeholder you're talking to. Your chair wants more academic papers in general. If you're at a research center, they want their clinical staff to actually get, to get papers done, to get our abstracts out. So if you can be the person who says, I will make sure we have 10 papers a year, 2 grants will be submitted a year, whatever you want to say, whatever you feel comfortable with. I'm going to be bringing up the clinical staff. I'm going to make sure you're represented at all the major meetings. You can say that as a researcher. You can be able to say that, keep them focused on this thing. So what you're asking becomes like, oh, of course, it's a no-brainer. Keep focusing on what they want is how you start it. We'll talk about this more tomorrow. Focusing on positioning as what they want, and then what you are asking for feels like a no-brainer. It's like, oh, of course she needs us for that. What do you think, Karishma? Okay, Tolu, how can I increase my income working in the outpatient setting and overloading my schedule by double booking patients? Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's so many good questions in here. I would have to know a little bit more about your setting, Tolu, but I think my first goal with you is this. This is for anybody who has cut back to FTE point 0.8, and you're starting to see the work creep up, and you are now getting closer to 1.0, and you're still being paid. You have a 20% salary discount. This is my general strategy for this situation. First, figure out why you're going over point 0.8. Cut back those activities. So told from our talk when we talked earlier, it will be how are we going to get those notes chart closed sooner. Let me get myself back to point 0.8. Cut back, walk back from 1.0 to point 0.8. And that is all a systems issue. If you look at your day, I promise you, there are buckets and buckets of time we're kind of misappropriating. We can get solved for that first. So that's strategy one is get back to point 0.8. And then we start walking your salary up. So that's why today is part-time hours. Tomorrow is the 100K raise. We want to get your hours down first and then layer on the higher salary. There is no shortage of Utolo. Your university, your hospital will always be asking you to do more work. We can count on it reliably. And you can leverage those conversations of, oh, yes, we're going to be carrying more patients this year. Okay, great. I want to talk about increasing my salary, or I'm not available to do that. I'm going to be talking about not adding those on and protecting my schedule. You'll have years where you're moving forward the salary and years where you're cutting back the hours. But overall, we need to be at part-time hours of the full schedule. Start with that, focusing on how do we get to point 0.8, and then we can layer on more more revenue from there. Just where I see it go wrong is when people try to do both at once. And what winds up happening is they just load in more patients and more patients, and all of a sudden they're at full-time hours and their salary never caught up. So what do you think about that, Tolu? What do you think about that? And about it depends on the center that you're at, but the double booking sometimes is able to be a conversation where you have with a nurse manager who's on there, where we are able to have peer, and sometimes you have to talk with your boss about it is for this period of time, or since I'm part-time hours, can we not double book? Sometimes we can have, I've helped clinicians have that conversation. Sometimes that's not possible. Sometimes I've seen people who move their double book patients over into a nurse practitioner, for example. There's lots of moving parts to this, but I think the priority is getting to point eight and then layer on increasing your salary. AL. My hang up is that the salaries of my colleagues are publicly available. It doesn't seem like I deserve full-time pay for working less than FTE than them. AL, Mama, I have to tell you a few things. Okay, you ready? I'm telling you this. I do not mean to be mean, but I'm fighting for you. I want to fight for you here. First of all, you, I mean, I would not be looking at public records of stuff because that's what our brain will do. Then we'll say, well, then I shouldn't. I shouldn't get paid. Our brain will use it against us. So don't look because it'll just make it harder for you. But you've already looked. So number two, I want to say you don't know the full story. Did you know even these publicly available sites, that is not their take-home pay. That is part of their base salary, but their stipends, their bonuses, their salary structure, the money from the children's hospital, it's a very layered. If it's publicly available, it means it's a state-run organization. It is a very complicated pay structure. You do not know how much they're being paid. Do not do that to yourself. You do not know how much they're being paid. And it's not really up to you to kind of decide what's fair for the group. Let your chair do that. What I want you to be focused on is what is fair for me and my expertise. What do I and my family need? That's the only person you need to worry about. And I want you to consider if you go in and you negotiate, and I know because I've done this myself, I've helped other people do this. When you bust, I think I talk about this tomorrow. When you bust through a ceiling on salary, you raise the salary for everyone behind you. So if you negotiate for a higher salary than them, they can come back and start negotiating for a higher salary. And then you're like an angel to them. I'm telling you, I've seen this happen. So your major job, AL, and this is, I think, where coaching will really help you. And I think I see so many women physicians go this route. Stay negotiating for you. Stay very focused on you. This is your chance. These starting new jobs is your chance to reset everything towards your favor. Stay in what do you need to make this a yes? The moment you start saying, but they're paid this, but there's no precedence, it's over. Now you're going to negotiate to be the lowest paid, the worst schedule. That's not what you deserve. You deserve top pay. So I would say ignore all the information you saw online, put it on a shelf. I tell my clients, put that on a shelf. Put it on a shelf. You saw it, it's okay. You didn't do anything wrong. You put it on a shelf, and now let's go forward with you. Here's what I'm looking for. AL, I want you to tell me what is the thing you're worried about? Because I feel like you have like some fears about this. What's the worst that can happen? In my mind, the worst that can happen is they're going to say, oh, we can't do that. I'm so sorry we can't do that. Do you still want to work here? So in my mind, nothing's at risk. Well, I'll say what's at risk is you get exactly what you want. If you ask, you have a chance of getting exactly what you want. If you don't ask, if you cut yourself off, there's 0% chance you get what you want. And then you're going to be there, you're going to be resentful and you're going to be like, right, you're not going to be happy. And someone's going to come after you and they're going to get hired part-time. And you're going to be like, oh my God, I could have done that. That's what I would be thinking. I'm just telling you me as not as a coach, but this is like, that's how I would think about this. The worst that'll happen is I'll get exactly what I want or I'll get exactly what they offered. That's not too scary. I don't know, I'm just gonna make things up. I'll only make $250,000 part-time or make $350,000 full-time. When you really think of what is scary about that, because if we can release that, you ask and you get. The worst thing is they'll say no, but they're not going to take the job offer away. Okay, then what's so scary about that? You tell me. I did my residency at this institution, so I know everyone personally. I don't want to offend anyone. There you go. That's it. Yeah, that's what's stopping you. Okay. So do you want to come on? Raise your hand if you want to come on. If you don't, that's fine. I'll keep coaching you from here. But a couple of things. Um, what do I want to say this? There's so many different directions that we can go. I'm really proud of you that you found that these are tender relationships and you don't want to offend them. What I would say is just say that. I think it's very human, very honorable and respectful of you. Ayel, what do you think? This is me talking to the chair as you. Dr. So-and-so, I did residency here. I respect you greatly. I don't want to offend anyone. I really want this job to work. Here's what I would need. Is there any way possible I can be part-time? What do you think? How is that offensive? As you hear it, what's offensive about that? You think that feels accessible? What I love about women physicians is we're such nurturers that what our heart says is often the only thing we need to say. What do you think, AL? And then a larger thing I'll just have you consider is that I just need to be brave. I want to offer you something, AL. You don't even need to be brave because I think being brave when you're nervous just requires more of you, makes you actually more nervous. So here's what I would offer you. You just need to be honest. This is what I heard. You tell me if I'm wrong. Is dear chair, I really want to make this work. I respect everyone. I don't want to offend anyone. I really want to start off with a good foot. I am really wanting part-time. Is there any way we can talk about that? What do you think about that? I would just encourage you, don't make yourself be brave. Just be honest. Everything you said, I think, is really valuable. Other thing I want to ask you, AL, is there another job that you're looking at? Is this the only job you're looking at? Because let's see what you said. If you're going to say anything. I have other options. Okay. Yeah. So AL, I would include that. And here's how I would say it. There are other options. Well, if this is true, only right, being honest is how we teach this. It would be something like, I have to be honest with you. I really want to make this work. I would love to sign this and be done and getting ready to come here. I do have a few other options, and I'm heavily looking for part-time to make this work. You know, I is there any chance this could be part-time? If so, I'm ready to sign something along those lines. I'm curious, AL, what do you think about that? And also, are these other options part-time? Because that's important to bring in if you have it. If there's a model where this exists, it's helpful to say, it helps your chair. I'll talk about this tomorrow, but it helps your chair because then your chair can say, okay, well, even though we don't have a precedence here, we have a competing offer. The only way we get her is we match it. Of course, we can match it. I want you to think, AL, giving you part-time is very simple. It's really simple, right? They just have to say yes. Losing you is very hard for them. It could be, I want you to think this could be as simple for both of us. If you have other options, if part-time is important for you, I would love for you to be having these conversations with them, part-time hours with all of your options, if that's a priority for you. I think something else to consider is this is just kind of a fun experiment for you, is that when you talk to your home institution, pretend that they are not this is what you can ask yourself. If I wasn't talking to my home institution, what would I say here? If I was talking to the chair across town and I wasn't worried about offending people, what would I say here? That can help you make really good decisions. What do you think? All right. Tolu says, yes, that sounds good. Yeah. Other things to consider, Tolu, about increasing your income would be every time you're asked to do more, I would give you the exercise of sitting there. How could I make more money? So we go over this in the program, but I'll give you some exercises for those of you who are thinking, how can I make more money? Part of it is that where am I not being paid? Where is the pay gap? If you have a pay gap, correcting that can be very helpful. And that may not do any additional work. It could just be having conversations about having a raise, which we'll talk about tomorrow. So that could be part of it. All the other things to consider is when you're asked to do more, which every hospital is asked to do more, tie that ask, if you're going to do it, tie that ask with money. Other ways to do it. So those are the main ways, but then also other ways to have more money is where is also eliminating expenses. Where am I overspending money in certain areas? Where is my money going to Amazon.com to the gas station, Kmart for my kids, right? It's like can walk into a gas station, $100 left later, all the snacks. Right? Where am I hemorrhaging money in ways that if I just reduce this, eliminate this money, I could be making so much more money. We have lots of content on this. Let me try to think of easy things. So it's kind of like Tolo is thinking about thinking about the income a little more expansively. Yes, where can I increase my money without adding hours? Where can I decrease the expenses? Where can I decrease money going out so I keep more money? Because if you're doing that, if you're very efficient with your finances, you can be making more money without talking to your boss or signing or having more patients on your queue. It's like, where can I be smarter about my money? Something else to think of. And how to do it is so easy. I talk about it on the podcast. I'll give you a little bit here. Is go through your finances for the last month, whatever you're able to do. Okay. But ideally, finances for the last month line by line and say what was a good use of my money? What do I need to eliminate? I did that. I found and a lot of people with money can be very avoidant because they're kind of scared about it or they don't know it or they're scared about math. But here's how I teach my clients. You want to look at your money so you can keep it, so you can claw it back. I'll give you an example. I was so busy to look at my finances. Right? I looked at my card. I started looking at my card. I found a $250 charge, $260 charge monthly for 6 years. It was like $20,000 on a service I never used. Just by looking at my numbers, I found $20,000. Crazy, right? And that's just one charge. Imagine going through, I actually found multiple things like that. So I want you to consider you could also feel more rich, more wealthy, have more money by a number of reasons, getting paid more, being in the clinic less, looking at your finances to stop the money hemorrhaging in unuseful ways. There are a lot of ways you can do it. My podcast is one, but I just want to get you started on that. And we also do that work in Next Level Freedom. Okay, Karishma applying for a KO8. Good, good, good. Yes, we have a lot of people with K awards that help them in this transition period. Cardiology fellow, we have a cardiology fellow. I actually have several cardiologists in the group. This is a really good time. So I'll say Next Level Freedom, we help our trainees get $100 to $200,000 more in their salary per year for the rest of life. It's multiple millions. I really think you should join Next Level Freedom. We can help you step by step through this negotiations. This is the single most important time for you to negotiate because whatever you negotiate here, whatever salary you create here, you'll be referencing it for the rest of your life. Plus, like we said earlier, time plus years in medicine really determine the millions at the end. So that $21 million, don't leave it on the table. Join Next Level Freedom and we can help you get top salary from the very beginning. Okay, Dahlia. Dahlia, I was thinking about you, but I forgot what I had a thought for you. I started at point 8, got to point 92 after colleague passed away, primarily in an outpatient setting, few weeks of inpatient a year. It's RVU-based practice, standard money across the practice. How can I earn more? So I'm interested in when you went to point 92, did your salary go up? I would want to know that. If it didn't, that's something to be addressed or cut back to point 8. And this is where, with the colleague passing, and I'm sorry to hear about that. That's very traumatic to have a colleague pass. I have seen that many times too. It's really hard. Um, I would say it is a point of conversation though. Like as if work was shifted to you and now work is, and we want to make sure that that work came with money. Also, what's in the way of asking for more money? It's so interesting. A lot of the chat questions I'm seeing And I say this to bring possibility, are kind of like I'm limited by this model. And I get it. I get it. And they may even tell you that, but there is a way of having a conversation of, can I be paid more? I've been here. And so I kind of how I've helped people with as a loyalty, like let's say Dahlia, you've been there 15 years, 10 years, 8 years, 5 years, 3 years. We can say, is there, looking at this practice model, I understand the RVU, I've demonstrated I can meet the metrics. When the colleague died, I assumed their work to help out the practice. I wanted to revisit my contract in terms of increasing the salary, period. Always start with the base on the salary. And if like, oh no, there's no models, could we talk about a retention bonus, a loyalty bonus? So we I'm going to talk about this tomorrow. So definitely come back tomorrow, Dahlia. Be creative. Be creative. I just helped someone a day of coaching. We helped her create $50,000. And there was like, we're an RVU model. We don't give out more money. Everyone's paid the same. I want you to consider when people tell you things like that. I'm doing air quotes for people who are listening. It's air quotes. It's not necessary. It's a leadership tactic. It doesn't make them a bad person, but it's not the law. I want you to consider it could be just a very well executed conversation. Like the question might be, I've been here since whatever, 2015. I've demonstrated my RVU capabilities. I'm loyal to you. I want to stay. When we had this tragedy, I stepped up. Can we talk about how I can make more money? Some ways I've helped clients do this inside of Next Level Freedom. Titles are invented. They are totally invented. So it's very easy for even this kind of setting to say, okay, we're going to have you as the medical director of blah, 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 and attach a $30,000 a year stipend. How do I know? I just helped someone with this last week. So totally possible. Do not believe them when they tell you, Dahlia, that they cannot. They can't. And also come back tomorrow because I'm going to teach you some really creative ways to get this done that you haven't considered. Okay. All right. Oh my gosh, what else? Anything else? Okay. I'm going to just finish up. If anybody else has anything else, put it in there. You're going to love, based on your response today, my friends, you are going to love tomorrow as well. Let me get back to business though, shall we? Anything else? Put it in the chat. I'll keep checking. Okay. So the cost of waiting is like $1 million a year. Please don't wait on this. It's where your brain might be, oh, joining Next Level Freedom costs $2,500. It really is more like, do I want to leave $11 million on the table? This money, we calculated this yesterday. This was a fellow, Karishma, this was a fellow. We helped her create a $100,000 raise. She's 30 years in medicine. That's $11.3 million. And if she had waited until she was faculty, until she got her K, a year later, the cost of waiting would have been $931,800. It's so expensive to wait. The compound effect of making a lot of money fast is important. So make sure you're not leaving your $11 million on the table. It's life-changing money. I don't want you to do that. Not everyone gets to choose when we leave medicine. And many of the women physicians, because it's a lifetime program, I see them over their lives. The beginning, everything's fine. And their spouse loses their job. Their child gets a diagnosis, needs a team of healthcare providers, lots of doctor's appointments. Our parents need help. I had a neck injury. I couldn't work for a while. We have to have financial buffers. We need to have what I teach my clients, have a multi-million dollar financial buffer. Live off the interests of your investments. Be able to fund weeks, months, years off without changing your day-to-day life. A million reasons why you have to change. You have to be at part-time hours at full pay. Every year, your job should get better. If you're following this process I'm teaching you, every year you're working fewer hours, you're making more money, you're home more. That's the whole point. So I want to invite you, if you're not a Next Level Freedom, what are you doing? Come in. I've shown you how amazing it is. We are the only community helping women physicians. Athlete come back to part-time hours, keep your full-time pay. We teach you advanced coaching skills. We are teaching you how to coach your boss into millions. We're teaching you how not to negotiate for more money. Like all you guys are asking me, how do you negotiate for money? I'm telling you how to coach your chair into offering more money. It's a difference. It's so much more money. That's a Next Level Freedom. This is a movement. Some people were asking me yesterday, how is this just $2,500 for lifetime physician coaching? It's because this is a movement. I don't want there to be any barrier to helping each of you get $21 million. Your pay gap closed in your generation for your babies. $21 million is life-changing money. You can live off that interest. It involves going to part-time hours and keeping your full pay. We open once a year. Your 72-hour bonus ends tomorrow. Do not wait to the very end because we may have to decide to close that bonus off if there's too many people coming in at once. So don't wait. Please don't wait. I don't want to have to I don't have to hear you saying I didn't get my bonus. Come in now. That's a QR code. We help women across the world, every specialty. If you don't see yourself on here, write it in the chat. I probably should put cardio. No, we do have cardiology on here. We help all the specialties. We help people like to say, but can you help academics? Yes. I had $1.2 million bonus in academics from one of these schools. Yes, we help people in academics. We help people in community. Half of our people are academics, half are not. Community, private, solo practitioners, Kaiser, locums, per diem, physician scientists, researchers, telemedicine. All experience levels. I love when trainees join because you have the most to gain. You have 30 years in. It's so easy to get you $21 million. 11 million or 21 million. It's so easy, but we help all levels. And I'm telling you, whenever you find this is the best time. So don't feel bad if you're 10 years in or you're a chief or you're a chair or medical director. It counts. Millions of dollars counts. It's very easy to get you millions of dollars. Very, very easy. How we do it is we have a 5-module curriculum. It's available as soon as you join. Module 1 is early promotion, off-cycle raises. Don't tell yourself you need to wait 5 years for promotion. You don't. You can get off-cycle raises. You can break the promotion criteria, go much faster if you have an interview edge. I tell you about the strategic annual review system, promotion coalitions, how to use annual meetings to leapfrog your career. This is Rayhan. She was a fellow, for those of you fellows in the room, and the recruiter said, you can't get top dollar. You need to take 100K IMG discount. You have no experience. You're a fellow, you're a breadwinner. It was a horrible, horrible thing to say to her because, of course, she has experience. She's an IMG. She joined us, and we believe in no discounts for fellows, no discounts for IMG. We believe in top pay for every woman physician. We helped her get 10 dream job offers, including a very competitive market in California. She turned 9 of the jobs down. She accepted her dream job well over $100,000 more than the recruiter cited every year of her career. She just bought a big house in California, a huge yard for her child. She's so happy. She said, this is what I was dreaming about when I was moving to the United States. I'm so happy. I'm so glad I made this decision to join. It's nothing, nothing, nothing compared to what I have. This money matters. If you came in late, look at this money. $100,000 times 30 years is $3 million. And that's just the raise. We're not looking at her base salary. We're not looking at her husband's salary. We're assuming she never gets a bonus. There's no investments. There's nothing else. I'm not assuming the tax rate. And we're going to assume that in 5 years, she'll get at least $100,000 more. So that's $2.5 million. A total at retirement, because she joined, because we helped her with this one raise, is $5,500,000. Let's say she invests just this portion, not her whole salary, but just this raise she invests. That's $18,638,915. Next Level Freedom costs $2,500. The ROI in that coaching is 7,456x. You cannot find that money in the stock market. $18.6 million. And a 10-minute conversation with her chair. That 10-minute conversation with her chair was an $18.6 million chair. That's available for all of you. Do not let your brain say, oh, can't work in my practice, can't work with clinical practice. So she's in a clinical practice. Don't let your brain say it's because I can't do it if I'm a fellow. No, no, no. You can do this. You can do this too. If you do it soon. Skip the recruiter discount. Do not talk to recruiters. They are incentivized to keep you broke. Go make $18 million instead. Join us in Next Level Freedom. The 72-hour bonus ends tomorrow, and we may have to, if it gets booked up, we may have to stop. So I would get in now if you want it. Module 2, leave work at 4 p.m. every day. Make it home before bedtime. Don't work through lunch in the unpaid charting. Get full approval for cutting back without touching your income. We have a whole, I taught you today the Outlook strategy of doing email. We have a whole work-life balance scheduling system, approval approach, unpaid labor elimination strategy, how to purge your calendar of all that unpaid work. Well, getting along better with your colleagues. Oh, that's weird. I don't know about that. Ramona did this training, one module, this training, and she said that she went home at 4 p.m. that day. And years later, she still leaves at 4. It works really well. Dahlia wants to hear about the bonus. Okay, I'm gonna skip. I'm gonna tell the bonus. By the way, I'm gonna skip around. So if you guys have questions, you're like, I want that bonus, I'm skipping to the bonus. Okay. Yes, Dahlia. Yes, here are the bonuses. I'm gonna skip for a second. Skip a little bit. All right. So bonuses, first come, first serve. We're going to be doing bonuses. The 72 hours, we will cut them off, but there is a limit to my schedule. So we can't, there's a certain, over a certain number, we just can't take more clients. So if you want these bonuses, I would not be waiting till tomorrow. This will end tomorrow, July 30th. So 72-hour bonus comes with a 100K week of private coaching. It's voicemail coaching on Voxer. It's me in your life. It's private. So you get to say, okay, here, I want to talk to my chair about this. I'm going to have a conversation with a nurse manager about double booking. Let's walk through it. And we walk through it together. So you voice message me whenever you want. And I get back to you and we make sure that you have a lot of support in a very concentrated amount of time. We have the dates. It's in August. You can get support on any topic, but we've had clients make a 100K raise from this bonus alone. They paid $2,500 to get in the program and they got a 100K raise from this bonus alone. This is the closest thing to having a coach on call for you. It's not group, it's you and me. Get your 100K raise. It's valued at $1,000. We never sell it. It's just a bonus we put out. Next Level Freedom only opens once a year. This is the last chance to join until summer of 2027. All right, the other bone. Okay, yes, this is Andrea. She used Voxer coaching one day. We created a $45,000 raise. She just said, Christina, I need help. I'm going to go meet with my team and I need to ask for a raise. And she wound up creating $45,000 on the coaching that we gave her that she wouldn't have gotten without it. This is an incredible, incredible opportunity. $45,000. Now, personally, I think she could have asked for and got 100K because she's amazing, but she emotionally didn't feel like she was ready for that. So I teach a form of trauma-informed coaching where we go with your nervous system. If you tell me, Christina, I cannot ask for 100K, I'm going to say, okay, we're going to do what you want to do. Because if I say, go ask for, I know a lot of coaches will do this, go ask for 100K or I'm firing you as a client. Like, what's the point of that? Then you get no money. So she decided 45K she felt really good about. I agreed. I helped her get that. She's going to get times 15 years at $675,000 she wouldn't have gotten otherwise. By the way, I'm sure she's going to get 100K this year. We're working on other things together. 45K, if she put that money invested in the stock market, 8% ROI is 1,221,844. Next Level Freedom costs 2,500. That's an ROI of 489 just off this $45,000 raise, not her base salary, her husband's salary, no raises or bonuses. $1.2 million for a 10-minute conversation. That's how valuable this Voxer bonus is. All right, so that's bonus one. Bonus two, limited, first come, first serve, 4 p.m. exit plan, private one-on-one coaching call with me. So we're going to get together and we're going to go into the nooks and crannies of what is going on in your job. Why are you not at part-time hours, right? We're going to figure it out. All these things we're doing in the chat with Tolu and the double booking and the grant, we're going to figure out your unique situation and we're going to start dialing that back. We're going to customize it for you. Just you and me, customize your hospital, your boss, your family. You'll walk away exactly with knowing what you want to do. And a lot of you already told me you're leaving at 4. Great. Let's use this call to make your 100K raise. Right. So this call, they're usually $1,000. I don't sell them any other time. It's free because I want you to come in, get your 100K raise, be at 4 p.m. Let's do it. And then the last bonus is 3 instant access courses. They're all designed to get you to part-time hours at full-time salary. So they're kind of designed with what's keeping you working too much. Let's eliminate it. You can get access to them immediately. It's secure to procrastination and perfectionism. Stop the cycle that's having you overwork, not work. They're the same spectrum. Usually a perfectionistic person is so afraid of things not being perfect, they procrastinate. They procrastinate so long that when they do it, they want to perfectionate. It's this vicious cycle that we just eliminate in this course. The dumb formula is how to get your work done early so you can show up at soccer games without your inbox blowing up. Impossible goals is the stuff that we're doing here. We're doing things that no one else in the world is doing, helping women physicians close a $21 million wage gap at part-time hours. Dahlia, what do you think? So that's the summary of what our bonuses are. So altogether, what you get when you join Next Level Freedom, only time to join this year, the new 5 module curriculum. We only got to cover module 2. I'm just going to assume you love module 3. I'll go back if you want. But module 3, 4, and 5 are incredible. Weekly live group coaching for life, 15 guest expert experiences. Drop in the chat if you guys have any questions. I'm going to go to the questions. I'm just going all over the webinar based on what people are asking me. Book club, content vault, private podcast. You don't need any of that. I promise you, the only thing you need is the curriculum. The curriculum is our process of getting to part-time hours. You don't even need the weekly live group coaching for life. The curriculum, we have had people listen to a module, get a 100K raise that week, listen to the module, be at part-time hours that day. The curriculum is available forever. It's available now. It's new. That's all you need. The rest is just bonus. And if you can't make the live calls every week, here's what I say. When do our live calls exist? That's a common question. We do them usually the first 3 Thursdays of the month at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 Eastern. Usually. Sometimes they rotate depending on my travel schedule. But here's what I want you to know. If you think you need to be at all the calls to get your results, you are overworking. Your goal isn't to spend more time with me. Your goal is to spend more time with your family. I see people who are like with their coach every week for an hour and they're not at part-time hours. I'm like, you're in the wrong keep your coach, but you really should, you just need a process that works because your goal shouldn't be to spend more time with me. It should be to be with your family. All right, Dahlia says she loves it. Thank you. I'm so glad you asked. We get our women physician community. So we could support you on everything. We start with your raise and your hours, but we support marriages, parenting. We're your support forever, for life. And new this round, we have an updated curriculum, the 4 p.m. VIP Rewards Club, live in-person event. We have a 72-hour bonus that will end tomorrow night, Thursday, July 30th at midnight Eastern time. It's this 100K week of private coaching, but it is first come, first serve. As we're getting full, at some point, we may just say it's over. So I wouldn't wait to the 72-hour mark. I would just say, this is what I want. I'm going to go secure it right now while we have space. I work part-time hours too, right? So I can't take 100 clients. It's going to be until we get to my calendar's full. 4 p.m. exit plan, private one-on-one call, also first come, first serve. If this is something you want, do not wait. Make sure you get in before we close the doors. And the 3 bonus courses. It's one-time payment of $2,500, 3 monthly payments of $875. Our bonus ends tomorrow, but we'll be open until Thursday, August 6th at midnight. You can use the QR code or go to ChristinaArnoldCoaching.com/3DT. My thoughts for you here is that I don't think anyone should pay for coaching. So if you do put it on your credit card, plan on that being paid back. We have a brochure where you can send to your business manager and have that funded before dinner. Or some people don't want to know, they don't want their hospital to know that they're getting coached. And I'd say, let us help you make a 100K raise. You saw those numbers, 100K raise per year, 30 years, that's $3 million. Invested is 11 million. Do we think we could have 2,500 paid off from that? Yes. I'm letting you know. Rayhan said, yes, that was paid off. Amanda, today's class is recorded and you can watch it later. Yes. Yes, Tolu, I'll discuss the code. I love that you guys are asking about the presentation. That's amazing. I'm gonna go back. Amanda, everything is recorded and you have access to all of it. So if you search your email for replay and my name, Christina and replay, it'll pop up yesterday's replay. We're putting all the replays on one web page. So that same web link will be for today and for tomorrow. And yeah, if you don't see it, check your spam or promotions folder. And if you don't see it, just respond to any of my emails. My VA will just hand you the link. If you're like, I don't even want to deal with spam, right? That would be me. Just reply, where's this replay link? And she'll send it to you. Her name's Ashley and she's amazing. My clients love her. Okay. Tolu wants to hear about the VIP. I will tell you about that, Tolu. What else do you guys want to know? This is your chance. Get coached, ask me questions, everything, everything. Tomorrow we're going to talk about 100K raises, five-figure bonuses, six-figure raises, 4-day work weeks. The VIP club. Let me find it. What else do you have for me? I'm going to find it. Oh, new this round. Here it is. Okay. So I try to keep the let me see, let me move this over. I try to that's interesting. Here we go. That's better. Okay, so your library, Next Level Freedom has a library. I try to keep it very constrained. I don't want anyone feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have modules for the rest of my life. Like, we don't need to be overwhelmed by a curriculum, right? So your curriculum is very contained. It's 5 modules. How to get to part-time hours at full-time doctor salary. Now there is more fun stuff. Everything that's the new learnings come out, I put them in the 4 p.m. VIP Rewards Club. There's more support there. There's more classes there. There's more more just goodies there. So what we have in there right now is an advanced manifestation course. I'm thinking about adding like more calls there for those guys too. It's so how you get there is once you hit the program promise, you are working part-time hours or you've created a six-figure raise or five-figure bonus. Once you get there, you get access, you just let us know, you fill out a form. It's on the honor system. We're not going to chase you down. You don't have to prove it. I love women physicians. We're always so careful. Like, what proof do you need? I get that. I'm like, no, I don't need any proof. The whole point of Next Level Freedom is we empower you to get your schedule back, to decide, I'm going to cut back. I'm going to be at 100% RVUs because I'm only getting paid 100% of my salary. I'll go to 130 when I'm getting paid 130% of my salary. All right. So we're just encouraging you to take owner, like to be able to be in charge of your life. So you fill out a form, tell us you could the program promise, you get access immediately. That's as easy as it is. So right now we have a manifestation course. I'm telling you, I want to put a money course together. I know so much about money, and my women physicians, you all need your $21 million wage gap. So we need to fill in some knowledge gaps. I want for money to shower on you. I want you to be able to retire your children. I don't want you to have to work until the day you die. I've seen colleagues, I'm sure you all have, who like worked into that last day. That is not what I want for you. I want you to be able to live off interest of a multi-million dollar portfolio. So I'm going to put a money course in there, but right now what we have is this manifestation course. It's very similar to coaching. It's how you can call in more money without any hours. And it sounds woo. Okay, it is. You don't have to do it. It's this course could cost I've seen other people sell something similar for $5,000, but this is better because it's for women physicians. So it's just for us. And I'll just tell you, Jessica, she used manifestation. She said she landed her dream job, 4-day work week, all of July off, 75% work from home. How can you do that with negotiations? You can't. She did this with this coaching your boss, these tools I'm teaching you, how with manifestation. We've had people get pregnant, win kind of like a windfall of money they didn't expect, figure out a relationship, find a love match. It's a beautiful thing. So I highly recommend you join us. And then as soon as you hit the program promise, let us help you hit the program promise in 30 days, and then join our VIP Rewards Club. What do you think? Questions? Questions? Instagram, anybody have questions over there? Okay, that's cool. I love it. I love it. I love it. So we did the bonuses. You guys know what's coming. That's our summary. All right. I don't think I have anything else to add. I guess I'll say, because some of you are only here for this talk. You haven't been here yesterday, the day before. First 30 days, our program promise is, or what we expect for you, what we're really focused on. Stop working nights and weekends. Come back to leaving work at 4 p.m. That is our first goal. And how we do that is schedule your 4 p.m. exit plan call. Those are limited. Those are first come, first serve. So do not wait until August 6th. You're probably not going to get one. If you want to join and you want all the bonuses, you're going to join right away. right away. First come, first serve. So use this QR code. You can use your 100K week of private voicemail coaching. We can help you as you're putting all this into play. We have a curriculum and group call. You don't need any of it. These two things can get you to the part-time hours. But it's there. The curriculum's there. The group call's there. And we're a lifetime group. There's no other physician coaching around this lifetime. It's a really special to know that life is always going to get better for you. You're never going to be alone. Every year, you're going to make more money and work fewer hours. That is the point. How long does it take to see results? 10 minutes. I have so many women, and you'll see on my podcast, on the website, people will say that same day, 10 minutes is all it took. It's very fast to get to 4 p.m., to cut back, to keep your full-time pay, to take the summer off, to get a 100K raise. All these examples are people, 10 minutes of coaching is all they needed. How does it work so fast? Because if you have a process that works, if you're doing something you've never done before, like what if that's the only thing that's gone wrong? You just never taught to coach your boss. You've never been taught this process of part-time hours of full-time pay. Try something you've never done before. If you're doing a process that doesn't work, you can do it 100 hours. It's still going to be a no. So if you've asked your boss 10 times and he's always no, it's because it's the wrong process. He's in the habit of saying no to you. We just need to do something new. And tomorrow I'm going to tell you so many ways you've never thought about it. Arshna joined. Hello, Arshna. We're so glad Arshna or someone wrote in the note, Arshna joined. Arshna, you have all the bonuses. Guaranteed you're going to have all the bonuses. Let's get you your 100K raise. So glad to hear. Welcome, Arshna. You get to see your pick of spots. So Carrie joined on a Sunday. She watched Irresistible Ask Process on Monday. And by Tuesday, she has 60K raise. 60K raise every year times 20 years is $1.2 million. If she invests at 8% ROI is $2,745,718. Next Level Freedom costs $2,500 to enter. The ROI on coaching was $1,098. That is ridiculous, ridiculous money. It was a 10-minute conversation with her manager, $2.7 million later. I want that for you too. I want you to close a $21 million wage gap. We have a process of how to get paid. We just believe you should never pay for coaching. So on the sales page, there's a brochure you can send to your nurse manager, but you don't have to tell anyone. You don't know your coaching is your business. I remember when I joined, it's like, I don't want anyone to know I'm coaching. I want to take all the credit for myself. And I just paid it for myself. Let us get your 6-figure raise. I promise it will cover your investment in coaching. Lifetime access means you never have to rush. It's always there for you. It's the best. It means every year of your life, you're making more money and you're working less. And we customize it to you. We only open once a year. The next chance to join is August 2027. And you saw if you wait a year of this kind of money, that's $1 million on the table. Just don't wait. Why would you wait for a 100K raise? Part-time hours. We do not love that for you. We want you to be paid well. All right. So make sure if you have questions, you can book a private sales call. We have 10 spots. Tolu, if one is not interested in manifestation, yeah, you don't have to look. Okay, Tolu, I'm so glad you asked. Yeah, so manifestation is not for everyone. I would just say, you never have to look at it. And yes, you could still be in VIP rewards. So I think, Tolu, I think what we would want to do is remind me, we want to make sure the VIP rewards is something beautiful for you. I think you would love the money course. I'm in my mind envisioning, but we could also put like maybe we'll put together a group Voxer channel or a call that we can meet as a very small group of VIP clients. So let us know what you're thinking and we'll make sure it's there. Nobody has to do manifestation. And yeah, I want to say that. All right, that's all I have for you. Come back live tomorrow. Bring your friends, 100K raise. Vanessa said, do you have clients use CME for coaching? So what I would say, Vanessa, I'm so glad you asked, is so weird. I'm right here on this. We got like lots of cameras going on. So we do not offer CME. And here's why. We are singularly focused on you making a 100K raise and getting home at 4 p.m. We do not get distracted. We don't want you to distract with CME and all those shenanigans. Because once you offer CME, what happens is you have regulatory groups coming in and are you teaching the right thing? And what about, teaching about all this. It winds up bringing a lot of distractions in that delay you from your 100K raise. We would rather help you make $21 million. Okay. That's so good, right? Right. And you can pay for it. There's lots of, I can give you names of sites for CME. You have them as well. But I'd say stay focused on 100K raise and part-time hours. Let's see. Okay. Amanda, I told you, can I say how much I love you? No one has ever said I don't want to do manifestation. I love that you said that. I love that you said that. Here's why I love it. Because I think other people feel the same way. So I'm so glad you said that so that I could tell you, don't do it. Don't do it. And we're gonna make VIP just for you. So you tell me what you love and we'll find a way. I think a bonus call would be kind of cool. The other thing why I love that you did that, Tolo, is because getting to 100K raise and part-time hours requires us to use our voices in very like in powerful ways. And you just did that. You were just like, Christina, I don't want that. I love that. So I want you to know you're in a place where we welcome you using your voice. We actually encourage you. We kind of expect it. We help you, like we did for Megan. We're like, Megan, you're going to get this job, and they're going to say, thank you for telling me you want part time, right? We help you use our voice because what I found really and truly and honestly, when women ask for something, especially the way we teach you, tomorrow we're going to talk about it in great detail. Almost every single time it's a yes, which tells me we wait too long to ask. Because really, we should be told no like half the time, but we're not. My clients, about 100% of the time, are told yes, which tells me they waited too long. They should have asked earlier. We don't ask earlier because we're afraid of the no. And what I teach in my program is don't be afraid of the no. Because if you're willing to hear a no, you're very likely to get the yes. A no brings you closer to the yes. A no is data. It tells you how to get the yes. Don't be afraid of the no. So I love that you said that. Okay. Amanda wants to know how to get a sales call. Here you go, Amanda. You can book a sales call here. This is going to be, yeah, we'll talk. If you have still questions, if you want to work through things, we can do that. We have 10 spots, so those are not going to be available for long, but feel free to book one. I'd be happy to talk with you about whatever's on your mind, Amanda, or anybody else. The bonuses are first come, first serve. So if you're thinking about joining, I would definitely join. Tolu says you're always so happy. Tolu, you know why? Part-time hours, making more than a doctor's salary is really, really nice because you get to be the mom you want to be. Like to your point, what would I do with part-time hours? I'd be with my mom. I'd be with my kids more. Like when you're able to be at part-time hours, you have time to make the soccer games, the dentist appointments. You have time to sit with your kid at the park. You have time not to think about work. That $21 million provides such relief to the family. So I want that happiness for you too. And I think you're there. All right, everybody. I don't have any more questions. I think we're all done for the day. Anything else? Last call. Last call, Instagram. It was so fun to meet you guys. Did you guys have fun? Oh my gosh, we have been building up. Tomorrow is the finale. Tomorrow, the bonuses end. Tomorrow's the last chance to get our 72-hour bonus. So make sure you come back. Make sure you join today if you can. Join today if you can. And there's the QR code. To join us in the email, ChristinaArnoldCoaching.com/3DT. Best chance to join. Once a year we open. The 72-hour bonus ends tomorrow. Get your 100K week of private coaching. Get your 4 p.m. exit plan private one-on-one call. Get your bonus courses. Get started. Don't put off your 100K raise that leads to $1 million less over your career. I want you to be rich. I want you to have 21 million more dollars. Sound good? Bye, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow.